You know, wants more information about the Illinois Recovery Center, please call 888-472-9559 or visit IllinoisRecoveryCenter.com.
This is wide receiver Luther Burden III. Come support NIL and get a quote from my friend James Carlton.
Thanks, Luther. That's right. For every quote you mention, Luther Burden III will make a donation to NIL on your behalf. Getting a quote is easy. Just go online at carltoninsurance.net. Call or text 314-961-4800. If you have drivers under the age of 25, if you're seeing rising rates, give us a call or text us 314-961-4800 or go online at carltoninsurance.net. Let's keep the momentum going.
Urban Dictionary defines thirsty as purposely, knowingly, and recklessly attempting to gain fame to boost self-esteem. So, are you thirsty? Well, TMA has you covered. Become a part of the TMA Listener of the Month Club. You nominate yourself for a monthly award. And if you win, you get recognition and stuff to help you satisfy that insatiable thirst. We're talking January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, etc. Go to TMASTL.com or the TMA app. Give us your name, a photo, and other pertinent information. Tell us why you deserve to be TMA Listener of the Month. And if you don't want to use your real name or photo, we don't really care. The TMA Listener of the Month. Get recognized just for being you or fake you or whatever. Quenched by Milagro Tequila. Welcome to the brighter side of tequila with Milagro in the morning after on KPNT HD2. Yeah, that plowboy's an interesting dude, but he loves animals, and he wants to help adoptable dogs find homes. With TMA listeners, catch Plowsy live on the TMA socials each week, highlighting a dog up for adoption from Open Door Animal Sanctuary in House Springs, St. Charles County Pet Adoption Center, and All Paws Safe Haven. Plowsy's Pup of the Week, brought to you by Chow Chow on the Hill. Everything you need to keep your pet's tail wagging. Find out more at TMASTL.com.
Here's Action Jackson with 3 more ways to get TMA content.
Check out listener rewards on the new TMA mobile app. Watch the show live on the TMA studio cams. Find it at TMASTL.com. Get the podcast on the TMA app. Download it now.
Thanks, Jackson. It's the Brown and Crouppen Morning After on 105.7 FM HD2.
Live from the Michelob Ultra Studios, KPNT FM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. This is TMA All Day. Rise and shine, St. Louis. It's the Brown and Crouppen Morning After on KPNT FM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. At the Morning After STL on YouTube and on TMASTL.com with Tim McKernan, Doug Vaughn, Iggy Strode, The Plowboy, and Action Jackson.
707 in St. Louis. You are listening to TMA, presented to you by Brown and Crouppen. Timothy Michael McKernan, Douglas Sullivan, Vaughn, Kenneth Iggy Strode, The Plowhawk, Action Jackson with you. Welcome to the Munganess St. Louis Acura, Munganess Burkhardt Alton Toyota, 7 o'clock hour. Come on in, friends. The water is warm. Thursday's always reserved for phone calls and the Collier and Thompson phone lines. Most of the time it's ladies, but sometimes some guys will call in at 636-9004-TMA. And, of course, you can text into the Jeff Lotman Compass Realty text inbox 314-881-TMA5. Email in for our design, air, heating, and cooling email today. Coming your way in the Schaefer Door Company, 9 o'clock hour. It's the morning after at InsideSTL.com. Doug, so many leads to choose from, but I want to know about Jackson's birthday gala last night.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Ooh.
Not much to say. Just went to dinner with my parents.
Come on, Berkey, give up the goods.
That was it. Got a delicious dinner with my folks, and it was a lovely time.
Where'd you eat?
Tucker's in Soulard.
I was talking about that last night. My friend Debbie.
Oh, that place is
married the Tucker that I work with at Breckenridge, and they own that place. Great place.
Really great.
What'd you have?
Filet, because I'm a fancy boy.
Yeah, that's a good kind. Tucker's is really good.
But, Doug, we're not done with this birthday gala because Berkey's not giving up the goods?
He's not. Give the goods, Berkey.
No. It's Plowhawk season.
Plowboy's birthday Tuesday?
Yeah, mine today. I don't like to take Berkey thunder because he did have a nice little birthday gift.
I was hoping he was going to reveal a big MFF. And we're going to get the details, but he's decided to keep that secret, so we'll hear for the Plowhawks. MFF.
What do I have on the docket today?
Yeah.
So Madison has a huge work event, so I'm kind of home alone. May golf. Today.
Oh, really? Where are you going to ball strike?
Probably.
Weather's supposed to get nasty.
It might be raining.
Oh, is it really?
Really? I don't like to look at the weather. I just felt yesterday. I didn't have the opportunity yesterday. I thought maybe today would be.
I see storms at 8 o'clock, Plowhawk, but the rest of the day I don't see anything.
I see severe thunderstorm watch at 10 a.m.
Man, Doug, you're really killing my birthday, bud.
Rain expected to start in 7 minutes. That's what I got.
Wow.
Bill's home now.
Well, I guess I'll just chill with my brand new PS5, which Madison surprised me with last night.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How's that treating you so far?
I didn't really play it because we had a thing to do last night, so I just downloaded all of our apps and so yeah, it's a fun little gift. She is unbelievable. Certainly threw me off because we're obviously trying to pay for a wedding too. So I told her not to get me anything. I just don't need anything. So
You're a simpleton.
I'm very simple, easy to please. She does a fantastic job of that every day, and was a very nice surprise. She is a wonderful, wonderful person.
If you're single, you miss out on the presents on your birthday.
I think I'm with you on that.
I really don't celebrate birthdays, but yeah, if you're single, you get to a certain age, like 21, parents stop buying you things.
Well, you are an adult at that point.
I know, but if you're married or got a girlfriend, you usually get something out of it. But not that I care, but
is that coming from somewhere else?
Wow, I just heard Mike Lee say happy birthday, but it sounded like it came from like your lunch pail.
Right, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I wanted to play another
That's like the Keisha Gray one that sounds like it's from a different
all
room.
of them. I want to know where.
Where's my nurse?
Is he in the room somewhere?
Mike Lee.
Socks on?
I didn't hear it in here.
No, it's like it came out of the computer, but not out of a speaker.
Dude, that's the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
Well, try it again.
This like reverts back to. I've tried it a bunch. I'm gonna try the sound settings.
All right.
That's weird. I've never actually run into that.
No, we haven't.
I'm like literally hearing it from my lunchbox. I'm not kidding.
All future drops we play the Lousy's lunchbox.
I think Jackson had the best birthday. A lot of people have their birthday to go out and get drunk and smashed and
nice
just have a nice
dinner.
dinner with your parents. That's it.
Played golf yesterday. It was lovely.
Oh, how was your ball striking?
Played pretty well.
Far Oaks?
No. I was lucky enough to get on Algonquin.
God, that is great.
Yes, darn Ledoux guy.
And
I cannot wait for balloon party today. That is all we're talking about.
It was great.
I'm sick of this, Doug.
Yeah.
What happened?
Such an elitist.
Wreck me, Doug.
Clip that off.
Well, who got you on there?
Friend.
Oh, now it's cryptic.
Yeah.
It's so elite. Welcome to Team Unrelatable.
Yeah.
You got a well-heeled
Bleeding
friend,
off.
have you?
What's up?
You got a well-heeled friend, have you?
Something like that. Sometimes you just get lucky, Doug. And the key is being grateful.
Is it?
This Jackson spouting platitudes and his elitism from the ivory tower is really pissing me off.
Play with Bobby Layton.
Huh?
That's the only.
I would play drops, and I'm trying to fake this.
The drops are coming from a lunch pail.
I'm just trying to revert
That's such a
everything
funny
back. to
concept.
So good.
What you shoot, pal, that's from your first round opponent, Mr. Siders.
What did I shoot? I shot an 80.
Oh, I got to tell you something. I think that's a good score there.
Yeah.
I thought
Well,
it'd be
the
like
rough
that.
isn't as penal.
Yeah,
as
that's one of the things.
It's not as penal. And I wouldn't say that the greens were flying by any means.
You would
but
have. I think you would have skull pounded me with that 80 based on where I am at the moment.
Conditions were pretty optimal yesterday. 75 degrees with like very little wind. Little hawk.
Yeah.
Just like a baby hawk. So.
And so from there, you went to the Ritz for some cocktails, probably?
Yeah. Had a couple, old fashions, and then scooted on down.
He's a bourbon guy. Do you know that? I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
I'm a Milagro tequila guy, and you can be the Milagro tequila listener.
Man, sound good.
He's sporting the hoodie today. Milagro tequila listener of the month. Welcome to a brighter side of tequila with Milagro. We're approaching the halfway point of the month of March. Go to tmastl.com. Sign up to be the Milagro tequila listener of the month. We are in our Munganess, St. Louis Acura, and Munganess Burkhardt. Alton Toyota, 7 o'clock hour, stlouisacura.com and altontoyota.com. That's Jamie Burkhardt. That's Clayton Patterson. That's Peter Munganess. That's Ryan Seiberg. Those are the people who are part of the team at Munganess that we love so much. Munganess, St. Louis Acura, and Munganess, Burkhardt, Alton Toyota. Yeah, there's a bunch of Munganess around. And we're not saying anything bad about them.
No.
We're just saying great things about these two dealerships. So you go, oh, we're going to Munganess. You're not supporting the sponsors if you don't go to Munganess, Burkhardt, Alton Toyota, or Munganess, St. Louis Acura. Go online at stlouisacura.com, altontoyota.com. It is Munganast. And also, Jeff Lotman, sponsor of our Jeff Lotman Compass Realty text inbox, JEFFLOTTMANN.com. That's JEFFLOTTMANN.com. Doug, give me a projection for the housing market in 2024. What do you think? Think people are going to start moving around, go, you know what?
I think so, yeah. Because there's been a few years where they haven't moved at all. I'm sure there's some people just dying to get a new house,
22, 23. Now let's say Fed's going to drop the rates. They're hopeful in May. I don't know. Are they going to value inflation? I don't know. But if you are looking to buy a home, Jeff has been doing it for 22 years in St. Louis with $500 million worth of sales. So he has the ins and outs and the connections. And then if you're looking to sell a home, he obviously has been doing that as well. Compass Realty is a luxury real estate broker. And you go, oh, well, my house isn't a, $10 million house.
Yours isn't?
9.5.
Doug's surprise.
9.5. But it's not about a price point. It's about an experience, and that's what Jeff provides. JEFFLOTTMANN.com. And Glenn Betts Jewelers, 15% off when you roll into Glenn Betts Jewelers and let them know you're a TMA listeners. I want to drive that home.
Drive it home.
That's crazy, though. Like, legit.
I mean, for real. Like, I kind of feel like I need to go in there and get some jewelry and take care of. Doug, when's our wedding anniversary? You always send a delicious fruit basket.
You could use a toe ring as well.
Oh, man. Could you imagine a bedazzled toe ring? Oh,
Craig,
all diamond.
David, are you guys selling toe rings over?
Can you imagine getting fitted?
15% off.
Putting your toe right up there on just getting fitted for
They'd
it right
love
there.
that.
Glenn Betts Jewelers. I don't know on the toe ring thing, but if they sell them, it's 15% off when you let them know you're a TMA listener. They are online at glennbettsjewelers.com. They are located on Manchester and De Pere, about a mile east of the 270 exit. Let them know you're a TMA listener. 15% off. Sweet mother of mercy. I don't know what's going on, but I love it.
What are they doing? Liquidating?
They've been in business since 1941. I'd be very surprised.
No,
It's Glenn Betts Jewelers, 1941, third and fourth generation. That's Craig and David Betts. 15% off when you go in there and you tell them you are a TMA listener. And now what you need to do is think about it. Doug, we had the birthday boy from yesterday, Jackson, 26 bills. The birthday boy today, the Plowhawk, 35 bills. My brother Danny's birthday's today.
Really?
He's tall, full head of hair.
Nice.
And Iggy was making the observation that we have a lot of birthdays at Hubbard in March. It seems like it was June was a big month of conceptions. Is that right?
Well, I guess if you did the math.
Sure.
Yeah, I bet my mom's birthday. My mom, I think.
So you're actually getting the specific night you were conceived?
No, I think her. Man, she's gonna kill me. I think it's June 25th. But
Is when you were
kill me.
conceived?
No, her birthday is either June or July 25th. She will kill me. I forgot. But if it's June 25th, then happy birthday.
Well, it happened at some point. We know that much for sure.
Yeah,
Very
they're
rarely are
hiding
children
it.
conceived during commercial breaks on AM radio.
That's a great one.
But one of my children was. And he'll always be able to listen to when he was conceived.
You think you'll be embarrassed by that?
Yeah, because I was
proud.
I was singing during the break.
That's what, because I can't get hard. You guys know that.
Yeah.
But when Iggy started singing, that's what happened.
Anna Marie said, get in here.
Absolutely. That was what it was.
Huh.
Yep. It was magical.
It was either Iggy or Julio Iglesias is one of the two.
Couldn't tell the difference.
Were you in Florida at the time?
Yes.
Man, you were
That
probably
is the only place I can get hard.
Yeah, you were probably thinking about how excited you were to get back to St. Louis and obviously get back to.
Yeah, now that you think about it, might have been the case. So, Plowhawk, 35 bills today. Your birthday wishes are welcome in the YouTube chat. And, of course, the Jeff Lotman Compass Realty text inbox, and you can think about it. Doug, from a sports perspective, I think the lead is the players and Troy Merritt at 2 under through 2. Your thoughts?
I wouldn't think that's the lead, no.
Okay. I think the lead is Travis Ford is no longer the Billikens coach.
That's
might
better.
be the lead.
That's probably the lead.
Or Mizzou.
Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Coughed up the last 12 points.
I didn't see the game. But
Oh, is that right? I didn't watch a second of it, but
went on
we
a
were
12-0
debating
run.
whether or not to bet it yesterday. I didn't realize that.
Mizzou was up.
I didn't bet it.
Late in the game, and Georgia went on a 12-0 run at the end of the game.
That was it? The game finished 12-0 run?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
So they lost.
They lost again. Yeah, they sure enough did.
Well, They finished a perfect season in the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
0-19.
Not easy to do.
Record.
Not
Dennis
easy.
Gates will be back, barring a big surprise. Travis Ford will not be back. Doug, he is out after 8 seasons.
Yeah, I'm sorry to see that because I like Travis Ford. I got to know him a little bit, covering him for Channel 4, and I thought he was a really good guy. Tried very hard. I tried to do it the right way. Had some success, not enough, clearly. They didn't ever beat a ranked opponent, and they only got to the tournament one time, which is not enough. I guess he had a good run, 8 years, but nonetheless, I'm sorry to see him go. I liked him.
Sounds like he's done with coaching.
Yeah, it did. With his comments, it sounded like my 27-year career.
Yeah,
Enjoyed it.
that's what it's.
He's made millions, so he doesn't need anything.
27 years is a long time. I'm good with those 27 years. The relationships I've built, the games we've won, the programs I've taken over, I'm good from that standpoint. In St. Louis, there have been a lot of positives, but tough times too.
I think the NIL is a huge factor in his decision to be like, I'm done. Some coaching can handle it, and that's not a shot at him, and some coaching just don't want to deal with it.
Probably the ones who've been around a while are just broken by it.
Yeah, I think
I'm just
they
not going to
crest.
do this.
They're 30 or 45% crest, and there's reasons for that too. I'm not debating that. What I loved that he did was he did get local players. You know, he was able to not really corner it completely, but the low tier to mid tier, the Hargroves and the Goodwins, and I thought what he did was decent. But you got to win against top 25 opponents. You got to win the A10 at least one. You just have to be in the tournament more. The expectations are maybe a little bit too high for SLU. I like going to the game, but they don't have a really strong NIL, so I don't know how strong this coaching vacancy is.
See, I don't think expectations are really that high for SLU.
Winning the A10
I mean, they had Travis, who was a great guy, never caused any waves, was great to the boosters. Everybody loved him. I think that's why he lasted 8 years going to the tournament once. It's like, you know what, are we going to get any better? He's a great guy. He does what we're asked to do. He never causes any problems. We'll go with it. And it gets to the point where I think 8 years is we can't go on. But I think he lasted longer than most coaches would have.
Yeah, possibly so. There's really no reason why they can't be a top-notch program. There are other schools that are no bigger than St. Louis U that don't have their facilities in a huge metropolitan area all to themselves. There's no reason that can't be a solid program.
Doug, front page of the Post-Dispatch this morning is St. Louis is now fallen behind 2 other metropolitan areas in population. Did you see that by chance?
No, I didn't see that.
Did you take a guess as to which?
Character, core values, and team first. Those would be the 4 pillars.
The drops are back.
Yeah.
Not from the lunch pail anymore. Do you want to take a guess which metropolitan areas?
Sacramento?
No, I'm sorry.
Were we already behind them? Portland?
No, I'm sorry.
I hope not Kansas City.
No.
Can I have initials,
but
please?
If Kansas City did pass us, I think a lot of St. Louisans would cheer. C.
C. Chicago's now bigger than us?
No, not yet.
Columbus, Ohio.
Home of the Blue Jackets, but no.
Creve Coeur.
Charlotte?
Charlotte.
Really?
Okay.
Really?
And then another Florida city.
Orlando?
That's correct.
Good.
Yeah.
Doug, when you started at KMOV, do you remember what market St. Louis was?
I think it was 18.
I think it's now in the 23 range.
Yeah. And falling out of the top 20 was huge because there's a lot of national advertisers
that say we're buying
all
top
the top
20.
20 stations.
Right. Yep.
Man.
Doesn't Kansas City have a bigger population than us?
No, it has a bigger square mileage.
City limits, possibly. Because our city...
Well, city, if you're talking city, but this is based on metropolitan area.
Because we're down
Doug, do you call it DMA? You like that, DMA?
I don't usually say that. We're down below 300,000 now, I think.
Yes, that is correct, 293,000.
When at one point we were up around 900,000.
The fast-growing Orlando and Charlotte metropolitan areas now have more... I didn't know Orlando... I knew Charlotte was. I didn't know Orlando was. Now have more people than St. Louis, which is continuing to... I guess it's just a Florida thing, though, so it stands to reason. More people in St. Louis, which is continuing to shrink under the weight of an aging population and the continuing departure of residents. New census estimates released Thursday show the St. Louis region, after losing about 3,250 people last year, slipped to just under 2.8 million people as of July 1st, 2023, settling into 23rd place among the nation's top metros. Meanwhile, Orlando added nearly 55,000 residents and approached 2.82 million. And Charlotte, now the 22nd largest urban area, grew to more than 2.8 million after adding 50,000 residents. Doug, do you know Ness Sandoval?
I don't know him, no.
Well, he's a St. Louis University sociology professor who studies demographics. He says it doesn't surprise me at all. This was inevitable, that this was going to happen. The fact that they both happened in the same year is pretty remarkable, given where they were at in 1970, and that's in reference to the size of Orlando and the size of Charlotte.
Well, when you're adding 55,000 people in 1 year, that's 150 people a day moving into your market in Orlando. That's not surprising.
That's huge.
I mean, people are flocking to Florida and Texas.
Who's right below us? Who's passing us next?
Let's see if it is. I don't see it. I see that Kansas City's 31. So Kansas City increased by 12,561. Cincinnati is 30. They increased by 12,854. Indianapolis, probably because of Henshin's columns, up to 17,807 new people. Yeah. And then you get into Charlotte and Orlando.
Huh. Well, the top markets are starting to switch a little bit, too. I think Dallas has moved into the top 5, and Phoenix is real
What had
close.
it been? I mean, everybody knows New York, L.A., Chicago, and then was it Philadelphia?
Then it was Philadelphia and then San Francisco, Oakland.
Okay.
But that's fallen down below.
What's fallen, San Francisco?
San Francisco, Oakland, yeah. And Houston is way up there now. Cleveland has fallen back. Detroit has fallen back.
All those Midwestern...
Rust Belt cities, yeah.
All crime-ridden. I wonder if you look at the crime rates of the cities that are falling, what their crime rates are.
Well, they've all got crime, but I'm sure it's got something to do with it, especially here. I mean, we don't have the weather to combat that. You know, Miami and Tampa and Orlando, they've got crime, but they're still growing.
And I guess
you got resort weather year-round.
Yeah, you'd also have to look at our businesses, corporations moving to these cities, and they're bringing in 2,000-3,000 workers.
Oh, yeah, that hurts a lot. Yeah, it's crippling. Well, by gosh, if we can just get hot.
Thank you.
We can get back in the top 20.
We need to play that. Whenever we feel down about ourselves and our city, we just...
I can't imagine what it's going to take to turn it around.
I'll tell you what it is. You take some of that land out in Maryland Heights and you build like a mini villages.
Many villages.
Well,
You think retirees would flock to
No,
Gosh,
no, I don't.
swingers?
Retirees.
No, I don't.
Doug isn't going to invest in that.
No,
He's going to move his money into goodorbad.com. They're doing your fourth round, Jackson?
Yeah, we need angel investors.
Doesn't speak for the early stage investors.
Well, we're trying to do something big here, so we need a capital infusion.
I just would like a monetization strategy. It's all I'm asking for.
What about a crowdsource?
Well, let me get my
Crowdsourcing
angel
it?
investors first, then we can talk.
Thank you.
If just one of those mega tech giants would move to St. Louis or a new one get started in St. Louis, that might help.
So what's going to
It would take something like that. It would take something like the next Google or something to start in St. Louis.
We don't need something that big. Not in St. Louis.
It might.
Now,
We need
Stephen
another-
Wildwood says he's glad. Less people makes it easier to get around and get a table at Louis or Wright's Tavern. That's from Stephen Wildwood.
Well,
Wow.
there is that. Yeah.
That is bougie.
Easier to get parking
I love
spots.
That guy, but-
That's Bushy. Wow.
Although Louis said it was trash, even though it exceeds all expectations on the ratings.
Yeah, I was surprised to hear that, but, I enjoy it. My enjoyment of it will not be impacted by what is written in the Jeff Lotman text inbox.
Oh.
But I'll think hard about going again. I will say that.
They tried to ruin your experience, didn't they?
What it would take is somebody like, I forget his first name, Edwards, who's pretty much owns the Delmar Loop. Joe Edwards.
Yeah.
It would take somebody like that to do that to downtown. So, I'm going to come in, I'm investing in downtown, I'm going to open all these businesses, restaurants, hotels, bars. I'm just going to turn downtown into like a Delmar Loop area. It would take somebody like that with a lot of money to say, I'm going to invest in downtown, I'm taking it over.
That would take a billionaire, probably.
Yeah.
I don't think he's one of those.
No, but it would take somebody like a Joe Edwards to come in and say,
It takes businesses to create income and employees.
That's what
and
I said.
activity.
But he comes in
Not just a restaurant here and there. It takes major, big-time businesses.
That too. When I'm talking about, you said if we get Google here or something like that, that'd be great too. Maybe Facebook moves their offices here.
Yeah.
It's going to take 2 or 3 of those. But if you start building up downtown and you light it up like South Beach, You paint the buildings orange and yellow and blue.
Oh, come on. They're not painting the orange.
And you
Doug, I am now pulling my money from goodorbad.com, and I am investing it with whatever this corporation is.
Yes, and you have lights.
Watershed moment in your life.
Pink and yellow, blue lights all up and down the streets, and people flocking and having fun down there. It's going to take that.
St. Louis needs more 15-hour-per-week jobs. That's Mr. Big Cream. Eric in the Central West End is Jackson's favorite texter, and he says Joe Edwards is a massive douche.
Oh, God.
Dude,
now they're trying to rain on his parade.
This is why St. Louis can never, we can't, because everybody hates everything.
I like him. I think he's done great down there.
The Second Life Sibians is eyeing a parcel of land to build their tech headquarters in Fenton. So there's that. That's from Deke Dotem. So they're looking at building Sibians right out there in Fenton.
Yeah.
Second Life.
That might be doable. Be doable.
That's actually a great name for, you give it a second chance. And maybe you give a pamphlet about the backstory of the original owner.
I've had the thought that, almost all the major pharmaceuticals are manufactured in China, our arch enemy right now. If we ever get into a war with China, they'll cut that off. And how are Americans going to survive without their medications? Is it just not possible at all to manufacture pharmaceuticals in St. Louis? Couldn't somebody start that industry up here? Is it just completely out of the question that you could manufacture something like that in the United States? And if so, why not here? Why don't we become the pharmaceutical capital of America?
We are.
Iggy, do you like that, or you still want to paint the buildings orange?
I'd rather have the orange and blue buildings than a pharmaceutical company.
Yeah, of course.
I think I might move my money with Iggy.
Where's Pfizer located?
Wow. That's good.
I don't know.
Frank?
I don't know where Pfizer's headquarters are.
Pretty huge.
Doug Midge or Madge called in. Do you remember if that was Monday in the Collier and Thompson phone lines?
I don't know.
Was it Friday last week? Midge or Madge is not happy. I don't know who Midge or Madge is not happy with. Maybe just all of us. It would be nice if the St. Louis show could go one day without talking about how horrible St. Louis is. That's kind of a theme from, I think, a portion of the audience. This is the front page of the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, where I'm reading the story. And in Doug's case and in my case, we both have had opportunities to leave St. Louis in our careers. And I guess, Iggy, you did too.
Quite a few, but they're always, hey, you want to come to Des Moines, Iowa, Little Rock, Arkansas.
The heavy hitters.
Yeah, little places I had no intention of living
and have chosen to stay here. And I don't know, I subscribe to the theory that if you love something, part of your love for it is acknowledging that there is a problem and the things that can be done to improve it.
I agree.
But I don't subscribe to just blindly say everything is wonderful. But I know that there are separate schools of thought on that. And I don't sit and rip St. Louis all the time. My interest in leaving St. Louis has nothing to do with the city of St. Louis. It has to do with I just hate winter, period. But, probably not going anywhere anyway. So that's it. And now we don't really have winter, so that's nice.
Yeah, so that's out. So you'll be here forever.
Right.
Yeah, I always said if I would have gotten a job offer in Florida somewhere, maybe somewhere in California, I'd have probably left because I don't like cold weather. But Des Moines and Nebraska and Arkansas have the same weather as we do. So I don't want to go live in those cities. I could turn down ESPN. I don't want to live in Bristol. Cold winters there. But there's a chance if somebody, let's say Fort Lauderdale, we're interested.
You were down there clearing markets?
Yeah. I tried to get everyone I cleared down there. I said, got any openings? Chances are I wouldn't be here. I'd be in Florida. But I didn't get an offer in any of those states. I don't mind St. Louis. I mean, there's certain areas you don't go. But it's like that in every city. But it is kind of sad. You go downtown, you see nothing. I keep seeing these pictures. Yeah. I think it's called St. Louis History on Facebook. And every day they post different pictures. And when they post pictures from downtown St. Louis in the 50s and 60s, down off of Market and Broadway, and just people walking all over the place and shops and bustling.
Well, that's not also that's an Amazon problem too, by the way. Nobody brick and mortar shopping. So shopping online and accessibility of having goods that you don't need to go to a Willard's or whatever the hell it would call downtown.
But they're shopping at stores in the county.
Barely. I mean,
there's a lot of stores that are doing quite well.
I just think the accessibility of things, you don't have to go directly on downtown. I will tell a quick story. I went downtown last night near Broadway Oyster Bar, which I thought was an abandoned area. It is now the Garage, the same owner of Honky Tonk. I talked to him, and we need 50 more of those dudes that are willing to put time, effort, and money into an area that everybody looks at as a dump and try to make it successful.
Yeah.
And I really appreciated that. I love the city of St. Louis. I talk about the restaurants and the scene all the time. Downtown's a lot different. I did go to downtown, and I see one guy trying to rebuild this whole entire block, and God bless that guy.
Yeah.
So I am giving positive vibe to St. Louis, but I think Tim is correct. You can also showcase the flaws and be pissed about leadership and what could be done better.
It was something, I guess we talked about it on the morning grind way back when, but I feel like I might have been I had to have been, because by the time we started the morning grind, the Cardinals had to have started building what is the new Busch Stadium. But I recall, I did an interview with Jack Buck for KMOV, and in that interview, which was on the 4th of July in 2001, I just remember that because I thought it was so kind of him to have me over on a holiday. But the day before, when we were going to do the interview, I remember he left me on my answering machine, probably, in 2001. Maybe it was call notes. Hell, I don't know. Either way, I remember having a voicemail from Jack Buck and just wanted to save that forever because of his voice. But he said his Parkinson's was acting up, so he didn't want to do the interview on television because he'd be moving all over the place with his Parkinson's. So he did it on the 4th of July, and in that conversation, he was making a real push for support for the owners of the Cardinals and building a downtown ballpark. And he really feared that the Cardinals would build the ballpark somewhere else. Not that they were going to leave St. Louis, but his whole thing was downtown St. Louis needs the Cardinals. And I think at the time there was I definitely know there was pushback. You can remember that. But I think there was also, the Giants privately funded their ballpark. And he said, San Francisco is a global city. St. Louis is not. St. Louis needs the Cardinals. And at that time, in 2001, me being 24, I was of the opinion, having just been in Denver a couple times, Blues played the Avs that year in the Western Conference Finals. Cardinals opened up the season. Pujols' first game was in Denver at Coors Field. And a lot of Denver's rebirth in downtown was attributed to Coors Field, which sounds crazy now. I'm sure for people who are in their 20s in Denver, they'd go Coors Field. But Denver's downtown was a mess. So a lot of these cities that now are held up as model cities also had to rise from the ashes. I actually am of the opinion, as I was driving around downtown St. Louis with my family 2 days ago when we went to City Museum, I don't know if I would use the term the infrastructure is there, but I would say that there is a lot with regard to foundation that other cities that are experiencing a surge do not have. St. Louis has, I'm not talking about history, although history is certainly there, but I'm talking about a foundation. It's just all, or not all, but a lot of it is vacant. What I think St. Louis lacks, and I don't think this is a real bold statement. I suppose I would, I don't know if this is engagement farming or like bait, Jackson, please let me know. It just lacks leadership. And it's not as simple as that, because that's kind of a vapid, empty statement that everybody would approve, or most people would approve. And you take a look at it, and I kind of feel like St. Louis turns out some incredibly sharp people, but what happens is a lot of those people will leave to go to take your pick of whatever other markets. So St. Louis kind of acts as a AAA city for the big league cities at this moment. And I really do, and it's not based on hope, because I might not be around, whether I'll be dead or I just won't be living here. But I really do think, truly, I would buy stock in St. Louis. Now, anytime I say that, people go, oh, wow, you really are high on St. Louis. I want to reemphasize, when you buy a stock, not when it's at its high, you buy a stock when you see value. But I think that there is opportunity. And I think part of that also is rooted in cost of living. It's going to get to a point, or may already be at a point, that some of these cities, you just can't afford to live there. Or some of these places you may want to live. You were in Tampa. I don't know what cost of living is like there.
It's high.
I certainly know on the Atlantic side, it's insane in South Florida. I don't know about northern parts, but and the coast, and it gets exhausting for people. Remote work opens that up. So if you want to have an experience of quote unquote big city life, without necessarily having a big city cost of living, I think St. Louis is positioned for that, to have a resurgence. I also think that whereas when I was saying this stuff in the early 2000s, and not to say I may have been right, but I was rooted more in, I wanted to see like a lively downtown for my social life, not for economic reasons. I didn't know my ass from a hole in the ground when it came to that stuff. When I was saying it, it was a very unpopular thing to say because people didn't necessarily travel around the country to see how St. Louis was falling behind. And now it's obvious. And so in order to have progress, you first have to have an acknowledgement from a majority of the population that the body is sick, that there is a problem. And in order to experience change, you have to have a majority of people want there to be change. But in order for that change to take place, you have to acknowledge that there is a need for it. And so that is now present. And it's been present for a while. So I just think, I'm not saying it's going to be by 2030 or even 2040, but if I could, I would buy stock in St. Louis. So take that for what it's worth. You may hate it, and feel free to text in that you hate it, but that's where I'm coming from.
Let me ask, does St. Louis have, you had the sports commission, you had Frank Viverito for years, just retired, that would go out and get all of these sporting events to come to St. Louis, whether it's the NCAA, wrestling, swimming, gymnastics. Does St. Louis have a group that just spends their time trying to get companies to move here, that goes out and gives these companies, hey, what have you ever thought about St. Louis, and gives them a plan?
Wouldn't that be the RCGA?
Is that the group just goes out and tries to find companies to move here, or they wait till, hey, they're thinking about moving, let's go talk to them? Or do they just go out and actively try to get people to move here?
Well, I think they probably
I would imagine every city has that. I don't, my dad has said this, and this kind of ties into the football Cardinals leaving. Doug, you know where I'm going with this. I don't know if it was around in the 70s and 60s, but I definitely know it was around in the 80s. You know what group I'm talking about?
Civic Progress.
Civic Progress. That's exactly right. And I recall my dad saying, what St. Louis lacks now is there were these like heavy hitters in the 1980s and maybe to a point the 1990s who would powerfully lobby for St. Louis around the country. Now, part of that was the prominence and success of the brewery. But for example, like Robert Hyland was one.
Right.
He was the
Chuck Knight was in there.
Yeah,
Charles Sella.
And he was
Sam Fox.
What company is Chuck Knight was that Union Electric?
Yeah.
Right. It was Union Electric. It's now Ameren. And you don't have that. One of the things that is written, whether it's not it's true, but I know that this has been talked about, is St. Louis experienced this boom of wealth, which is still here. In a lot of cases, it has no interest in letting you know that it's wealthy, and I tip my cap for that because that's usually the real money. Doug, watch this. Money talks, wealth whispers. Think about that.
Right. Okay.
But then they would pass along the companies to their kids, and some of these big companies that were super successful in the earlier part and mid part of the 20th century were then handed over to like Spalding, and then Spalding, snorted it up his nose or, had himself some scotch and then these kind of fell off. Or they were just very comfortable, and you kind of had these lifestyle businesses as opposed to a goal to grow it because you could afford to be easily comfortable in St. Louis and not necessarily look to continue to build like either your father or grandfather did. And so that played a role in it. So
the Civic Progress guys were accused of being a little heavy-handed and having to be in charge and getting everything their way. But they got things done.
But that's the story that goes to the football Cardinals that Gene McNary, the former county executive, told me on the podcast, which I honestly was not aware of. I had him in to talk about his plan for St. Louis, and this was discussed maybe 7 years ago, about turning St. Louis into boroughs, similar to New York City, which I know sounds kind of comical to think of St. Louis and New York City, but his whole point would be to bring the county and city together. And I don't know if this was including anything beyond. But either way, then he goes into the story about how Bill Bidwell was ready to build this new football stadium, essentially where I think Hollywood Casino Amphitheater is or where Rams Park is, either way. And then Vince Schamel, who was the mayor at the time, is called to a meeting at the MAC downtown with the guys from Civic Progress. I'm picturing like a scene in the back when the money drop is made in Casino. What was it, a butcher shop in Kansas City? Jackson, confirm?
I think a grocery store. But
grocery store, yeah, with Martin Scorsese's mom playing the role of the cashier. And told, you allow this stadium to be built outside of the city limits. Now, keep in mind, it'd be in St. Louis County, but that's different because this is not the city limits, and your political career is over. So, and Schamel had aspirations for being the governor. And I believe he ran, and I think he got smoked because I had him on the podcast to confirm McNary's story, and he disputes McNary's story. He said Bidwell did not want to be here, so that whole story about Civic Progress is not accurate. Bidwell was pissed off, and Bidwell wasn't going to let them sell AB products at that stadium. So he said, imagine how that would have gone over in St. Louis. Mm-hmm. So it's two different stories. Do with it what you want. But yeah, so why do I tell those little anecdotes? And I'm sure plenty of you have heard me tell those stories before. But there was a group of business leaders who were working in their minds for the greater good for St. Louis who existed. And I'm not saying that is vacant now. I'm just saying if you look around, whether it be the political landscape, head government offices, or business landscape, who would you identify that you have a whole lot of faith in right now? And I'd certainly be curious and would take any and all names. I don't think that exists at City Hall. I don't think that for most people it exists with the county executive. And that Civic Progress group is long gone.
We thought we had a shot with a guy like Mark Mantovani.
I would agree with you. I acknowledge my bias on that. Mm-hmm. But I mean, one person can't save it. But he certainly would, I think, would have been, because in Mark's case, he had zero interest in anything beyond being St. Louis County executive. Now working with him on a regular basis, he's not really interested in, trying to, glad hand. He knows what needs to be done. He does it. You can like it, you can't, doesn't matter, but he knows what needs to be done. And it wasn't a popularity contest for him. But sometimes, of course, political campaigns are. And, Didn't
he get into the race late?
He ran 3 different times. In the case of the last time, yes. Yeah. In the case of the last time, yes. But that was out of necessity because the Republican candidate withdrew late, if memory serves.
I think so.
So either way. But yeah, and I want to make this clear. This isn't, Mark Mantovani could have saved the world, but I think it would have been a big help. But going back, this was pre the county executive election. St. Louis had these people. And I still, like I said, I would buy stock in St. Louis. And maybe it would be a bad buy, but that's where I am.
The city won't be fixed until they get the crime problem under control. It just won't be. Whether it's real or just perceived, that's the biggest problem. People aren't going down there because they don't feel safe. There were 2 people shot and killed on a Metro bus just sitting there this week. Public transportation is not safe. People don't feel safe. And unless you fix that, nothing's going to improve. The city needs to be flooded with security, with police officers everywhere, so that people feel like they can go down there, whether it's to a game or a restaurant or a shop, and not get mugged or shot or carjacked. That's got to stop, or everything else is a moot point.
So in one sense, I would say it's chicken and egg, because if you have businesses down there, then you'll have dollars, and then you can help begin the process of cleaning that up. But then at the same time, the businesses aren't going to necessarily be as apt to come if the first inclination of whether they're on board, employees are not as apt to go, okay, we don't want to move to St. Louis. So you see what I'm saying? It's kind of a chicken and egg.
I know.
But
2
you're right,
people who are responsible for hiring people in their corporations, and they both say they can't get young people to move to St. Louis. They try to hire outside of the market. No one will come.
I had someone send in a text yesterday. I don't think we read it, and it might have been on Balloon Party too, but I can't recall, or maybe on Tim McKernan Show podcast. Point being, I didn't read it. So, but Liz Fanasteel of Doug, you call them the doggies. Mm-hmm. Says when he's bringing players on board, or when he's trying to bring players on board, he says, do not Google St. Louis.
Yeah.
Talk to the other players, because the other players really like it. But if you Google it, you're going to see, take your pick of
You're going to see one of our players' girlfriends dragged underneath a car and nearly killed.
That is accurate.
And if you're a large business, are you going to settle in the city of St. Louis where you have to pay a 1% earnings tax, or are you going to go a mile away in Clayton or somewhere in the county where you don't have to pay that? Why in the world would you set up business in downtown St. Louis? What's the incentive?
Dogtown Ty wants to talk it over, and he is at the front of the line because he won the 2023 J. Randolph Jr. Fan Page Club Championship. He is on the Collier and Thompson phone lines. Dogtown Ty, by the way, before you start, thank you for the email yesterday. I didn't take your thing, and I will respond. I'm just behind on responding to emails, but it was a kind email you sent.
Oh, no worries. Yeah, it was partially joking, partially not, because I know of your preference when people think you're on the show. So that's what I was texting in about yesterday.
Yeah, I really enjoy that.
Hey, I'll be quick. I'm heading down Jay Jr. way, and I might lose some service here shortly. But I was thinking about this driving, and you guys talked about it a few days ago. But like you're talking about, we got to look in the mirror on St. Louis. And how bad it is. But not only that, like Posey was talking about, we got to look forward too. And I think one of the big things coming up that we need to get right is the airport. There's already been back and forth on what to do and who owns the airport and who runs the airport, and it just feels like it's going to be such a St. Louis thing to fumble the ball on something that will really help, I think, even though it's, an airport, it's the first thing people see. And if you look at Kansas City, our common comparison these days, which I think will pass us here in a few years if we stay on this track, is it's got this brand new airport, and it's awesome, and they're doing things that are actually, improving the city rather than arguing over the Rams money and what to do with that, which we still don't know. So anyway, it feels like a big turning point coming up, and I'm trying to look back and think about, I'm curious what you guys think the last big turning point was that got us to this point. Was it Ferguson? Because before that, I don't remember hearing as much divide and as much back and forth and everything like that. So, anyway, I'll hang up. Thanks for everything, boys, and have a good day.
Thanks, Dogtown Ty. Doug, very dangerous 6, trying to defend his title. Could be the first person to repeat. I don't know. I'm curious what your opinion of that is, Doug. I don't. This started well before Ferguson, and I also I don't think there is. I guess if you really, really want to go back to Chicago going railway and St. Louis going, steamboats.
Right.
You could go way, way, way back for
Erie
a pivotal on Erie Canal. But if you want to talk about recent history, is there anything that you would consider a defining moment?
Ferguson certainly hurt, but it had started before that.
Right.
The business is bailing out. The tax structure's got a lot to do with it. And I disagree a little bit with the airport. I think having a nice airport would certainly be a big asset. But people aren't moving in huge numbers to Nashville and Las Vegas and Orlando and Tampa and Dallas because of their airports. That's not it. I wish we had a better airport, too. I think we may have the worst big city airport in the country, but I don't think that's what keeps businesses out. I don't think that's what makes downtown a dangerous place. I disagree with that. But as one defining moment, I'm not sure there is just one defining moment.
Right.
It's just the way it's evolved. It's a bunch of things working against us.
I also think, I'm curious what you think about this. And by the way, this is my own 100% original thing. And I'm not necessarily saying original complimentary. I'm saying original in that this isn't from someone or multiple people with credibility telling me this. I think that if you are in a good spot in St. Louis, it's easier to be in a good spot in St. Louis, and I'm talking about quality of life, than if, say we moved to South Florida, or, I would have moved to New York, or you would have moved or stayed in Miami. Different amount of money needs to, to have, and I'm not talking about a yacht, I'm talking about just, you got to be making, as my buddies said when I almost moved to New York, yeah, if you want to live in Manhattan, you got to be making at least $500,000. If you don't live, you can obviously live there, but if you want to live decently, you make $500,000
live
in St. Louis.
If you want to live indoors,
it's a different deal. It gives you an idea of the scope of the delta on cost of living and quality of life, and so for a good portion of the people, and I'm talking about the people who have the real money in St. Louis, you can be comfortable, and you also don't necessarily want to do anything that would risk your comfort by allowing change. And so then when change is presented, there is pushback from the, and I don't want to say handful of people with money, but it is concentrated, and therefore you're not going to necessarily see that change take place. In other words, there are some movable objects, and they're also kind of behind the curtain. They're not out there because the dollars are so large and powerful, but also not the ones that are, I mean, people can cite the Taylor family, but they're not the only people in St. Louis with money. They're just one of the ones that are out there in the public. So I wonder if that plays a role in it, because St. Louis does have some real old money from the super successful time 100-ish years ago.
Yeah, there's just not enough money coming in.
Right.
There's still money that's been here, but there's not new money being funneled in that you would need to maintain a healthy growth.
It's going to be difficult or impossible to move forward without unifying the city and county. Too many competing interests means it's hard to have one unifying vision, and lack of clear accountability for political leaders. That's from Augustus James and Anus.
Oh, is that his brother?
I don't know.
His wife is named Anus?
It's Augustus James, comma, and then Ann Anus. So, like, that's an anus, and it's got a name of Augustus James. It's interesting.
Okay, yeah.
Welcome to the show.
Odd. Very odd.
Shrimply Pibbles and his wife is playing in the J. Randolph Jr. Fan Page Club Championship. Did KG and O-Town finish the field?
I don't know.
I know. I guess none of us are really on the fan page to know, but that'll be a fun matchup. Whoever gets Shrimply Pibbles' wife says, question for the day is the lens we look through a possible positive change for the region? By that, I mean, I think a large swath of the region thinks we're a dying big city. What if we didn't chase being a great big city, but instead embrace being a world-class mid-market city? Fortune 500 can still succeed in that market, and a focus on neighborhoods and family opportunity might outweigh the, quote, need for a thriving, massive downtown energy. That's from Shrimply Pibbles.
Well, we're long past having a massive downtown thriving energy. That ship has sailed. We got a baseball team and a hockey team and a soccer team that play there, and that's it. That's it. That's our downtown. We got the greatest monument in the country, and they've squandered the riverfront. It's too dangerous to go down there at night. It's just really sad.
Put that over the Statue of Liberty?
Good point, Eggs.
I take it.
Man, I tell you what.
That's a statue. I don't know if it's a Statue of Liberty a monument. I guess it is.
So what's the total number it would take? So I've been, ever since I moved to St. Louis and visited here as a kid, going to games and going to Six Flags and whatnot, just seeing the riverfront needs to be something. And like,
wouldn't you think?
Is that a $500 million? Is that like a $750 million project?
Probably,
that would
sure.
be.
Yeah.
Because that to me, and the city and county, as good of ideas it may be, that's never going to happen. They're never going to merge. That's not going to ever happen.
I disagree with you on that.
Really? I don't see it.
I don't see who's going to be willing to give up their power.
Yeah, like what municipality is going to give up all those jobs because you don't need all those little mini police forces and fire departments?
I'm not saying I think it's going to happen this year, but when you say never, I will.
Man, I don't know.
Like I said, I just think this is going to come from necessity.
I just wish they had a riverfront. I would build out like that way. I would get the riverfront and maybe the downtown you just need somewhere where a visitor and tourist can hang out. You got parking decks and abandoned buildings.
We used to.
I get it.
The Admiral used to be kind of a big thing. There used to be several riverboats lined up down there. There was a casino.
I'm talking more than that. You know what I mean? Like now, what the infrastructure could be now and what you could do out there now as opposed to.
The funny thing about St. Louis is a good chunk of its quote-unquote supporters, most of whom have never traveled outside of the region, get offended when rational people criticize its leadership and development. The craziest fallacy many buy into is that people who don't live within the city aren't allowed to have a valuable criticism and critique on it. Oh, well, at least there's a couple $100 million somewhere in a bank account that nobody can find waiting to be spent. And if that doesn't work, maybe they can pull a, quote, Iggy and put a tip bucket out just for existing. Thanks, that's from Dragon Slayer. Sometimes I like to park in arrivals for longer than 2 minutes so the gal with the oversized windbreaker and orange whistle can berate me.
Yeah, there's that. That's a nice welcome to our city. Get out of here! You can't pick people up here. It says pick up passengers. That doesn't mean you can just pick them up. Get on out of here!
What's she making, like $10 an hour?
Probably more than that.
Over the years, I've seen and met great leaders on both sides of the aisle. The issue is they were hyper-local leaders. Either the region or larger regions in general have a way of weeding out the altruism and pushing the garbage up the line. Doug, that's from Shrimply Pibbles, and his wife is a 4-seed in the West Regional of the J. Randolph Jr. fan.
You know, it happened quickly, too, because you don't have to go back but to the early 2000s when it was a thriving downtown. It was a thriving, bustling downtown. Nice restaurants. Hotels were doing well. Sports teams were thriving. Rams were thriving. It's not that long ago that this happened.
Merger likely would have happened if Steve Stenger wasn't behind the last iteration. That's from Cuckleberry Finn. Was he behind the last iteration?
I don't know, but he went to jail.
He did, but I don't know if I did. Guys, are you looking forward to getting lit up on the fan page today for this discussion? Doug, I think we get lit up on the fan page.
Yeah, we don't care about
I don't know if that necessarily.
that.
What do you suggest the riverfront be? It floods 10 feet every spring. How do you handle that? That's from Susie Cream Cheese.
That's a great point. Again, like I'm not an engineer. I'm not an architect. For me as a visitor, I would like to go downtown and enjoy the spring and summer and the fall foliage right there on the riverfront. I don't know exactly what to do. That I just think that having some of it built up, and there was a previous text that it's federal property that it can't be. That could be too. Again, I don't know any of these things.
But there are a lot of cities that are right on the river. They've seemed to have managed it.
Yeah, and it works for Cincinnati,
Corps of Engineers. It takes the Corps of Engineers to do things. I mean, much of Florida would be flooded if they didn't build that intercoastal waterway. Miami would constantly flood. You got to build something like that. You have to have some sort of massive runoff of the river during the flood times, just like Lake of the Ozarks is floodwater. It was controlling floodwater.
If you get a tropical storm, does Atlantic City go underwater? I mean, that's right on the ocean.
Well, we're not on an ocean. We're on a river.
But he said flooding. So if you don't worry about getting tropical storm in the Atlantic Ocean coming up your boardwalk and flooding out your casinos, then you should be able to do something with the river.
Yeah, it wouldn't be that hard, I don't think. And I'm not talking about 50 businesses lined up like shanties. I'm just some visiting thing to do. I don't know. Leave it up to the people that are smart and get paid to do that, but that's what I want to see.
But unless people feel safe to go down there, they're not going to go down there.
I lived downtown April of 2009 to January of 2013. It was fantastic when I was there, but it was starting to slip in a negative way, which is why I decided to leave. That's from DJ Jazzy Jeff Albert Pools. I was there right around April 09, for real. I think it was April, yeah, I mean, it might have been early March 09, either way, right in that same spot. And we left in July of 2012. That wasn't about what it sounds like this person experienced. We just were at a point where we'd gotten married and we're hoping to have children. And so we bought a house, but loved it. It was so great. And so that is why this is fresh on my mind, because my wife and I really hadn't spent time where we lived. We lived in Grace Lofts above Flannery's, loved it, then lived in Park Pacific for a year. And to see it after, this isn't like 30 years ago. It's not that long ago, and how precipitous the decline is, I'm just sad by it. But again, as weird as it sounds, and I'm not saying this for an applause line, Jackson, is this engagement farming or like bait? Please let me know. I want to know. I want to understand.
More likely like bait.
It's like bait? Okay. That as I'm driving around, also I'm thinking, this is an opportunity, as strange as it might sound. And I might be wrong, by the way. And, feel free to text in or whatever you want to post that. It's fine. But I'm like, okay, the bones are here. I think the desire is also growing. And so, unfortunately, sometimes it takes hitting rock bottom for it to be the wake-up call.
And there have been people who've stood in the way of progress. Remember when Anheuser-Busch wanted to build an arena at no charge for the city, but they would have had to knock down the couple's warehouses across the street from Busch Stadium. And the people that owned it, if memory serves, it was Washington University. And the preservationists there said, oh, no, you can't dare knock down these empty, dilapidated warehouses, because they were the first ones where a railroad could drive right up to the warehouse and deliver it. And it's historic. Their hearts are in the right place, but they stood in the way of progress. And it's the same thing with some of the buildings north of Laclede's Landing. You walk around in there, you'd swear to God you're in Berlin in 1945. These buildings haven't been operational for 70, 80 years, and people still stand in the way. No, you can't knock those down. Those are historic. You think other cities do this kind of thing? Hell no. We're not a fur trading post anymore. You got to move on from that.
Guys, we live in a Grint town. That's from Jenny Talia. Is that what St. Louis is known as? It's known for
Probably.
people with
I don't even
have a handicap.
I think Grant might put their nose up and move out to Boston or something. They're not looking here.
Yeah.
I love living down here. It does have its drawbacks. When it's hopping, it's awesome. Spring break is actually bustling down here this week. A ton of people come to the Arch. Also, there are a lot of conventions down here since the Rams left. That's from Chairman Steve in Wildwood.
I beg your pardon. A lot of spring breakers are going to St. Louis. You can't be serious.
That's the Milagro Tequila Listener of the Year.
Cannot be serious with that one.
You want to fight Steve in Wildwood?
No.
I don't live directly downtown, so I can't argue against what Steve is saying. He's a very honest guy, I think.
Yeah.
Susie, where you want to go? Panama? Jamaica? You want to go to Daytona? Let's go to St. Louis and see the Arch.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get in the car.
That may be where you stop for a few hours on your way to Florida, if you're coming from Minnesota, Iowa, points north. I don't know that that'd be your destination.
Your thoughts are welcome on the topic, and we're getting plenty. 314-881-TMA5. Jeff Lotman, Compass Realty, text inbox is how you can get involved in the program. Munganess, St. Louis Acura, Munganess, Burkhardt, Alton, Toyota, 7 o'clock hour. 2060 Digital, part of Hubbard Radio. 2060 Digital, part of Hubbard, I should say. Making digital connections that drive results in the fast-paced world of digital marketing, making meaningful connections with your audience, challenging for any business. 2060 Digital, sister company backed by 100-year-old media empire Hubbard, just like many of the stations right here in this very building. 2060 Digital, with 12 years of expertise specializing in simplifying the complexities of digital marketing, demystifying the process, transforming from a challenge into an opportunity, and enhancing online presence, optimizing digital campaigns, and increasing customer engagement. Think your business has room to grow? Let us prove it to you. Visit 2060 Digital online and find out more. Take the first steps toward unlocking your business's digital potential with 2060 Digital. Doug, why don't you tell people who our title sponsor is?
Brown and Crouppen will be our title sponsor. If you have a potential personal injury law case, you know who to go to by now. That would be Brown and Crouppen, the local law firm that is here to serve you. You say, local, where are they really? Well, they're down there now on the hill. Got a brand new office down there across from Regazzi's. Beautiful facility. They've been in St. Louis, though, since 1979, and they've grown now to become one of the largest personal injury firms in the Midwest. They know how to get things done. They'll give you a free evaluation. They work on a contingency basis, no upfront cost to you. If you don't get paid, they don't get paid. And they've won more than $1 billion in compensation for their clients. By now, you've gotten to know Ed Herman very well. Andy Crouppen has been in. Terry Crouppen, the principals of the law firm. Great guys, wonderful guys. They'd be easy to talk to. Smart guys. They'd be great to handle your case if you should have one. If you think you may need Brown and Crouppen services, give them a call. I'll give that phone number right now. 314-222-2222. Or you go to brownandcrouppen.com and make sure to let them know you heard about it here on TMA. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising. Past results are no guarantee of future results, and every case is different and must be judged on its own accord.
There it is, and James Carlton, 314-961-4800. Go online at carltoninsurance.net. James Carlton is my insurance agent. He is the Plowhawks insurance agent, and he is Iggy's insurance agent as well. I recommend he become your insurance agent. I've been with him now for 5 years and can't say enough things positively about James and his staff in Webster Groves. That's where the office is. No cutesy television commercials with animals or characters. They just get the job done and save you money. When it's all said and done, isn't that what it's about? 314-961-4800. Go online at carltoninsurance.net. If your insurance costs a leg and an arm, call James Carlton, State Farm. Send your emails in. Try to compete with Blueberry Pop Pop. He has won 8 of 9 Design Air Heating and Cooling emails of the day this month, the morning after at InsideSTL.com. The morning after at InsideSTL.com is where you can send your emails for our design, air, heating, and cooling email. Today we close out the Munganess, St. Louis Acura, Munganess, Burkhardt, Alton Toyota, 7 o'clock hour here on the morning after, which is presented to you by Brown & Crouppen.
Live from the Michelob Ultra Studios, KPNT-FM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. This is TMA All Day.
Biggie's Restaurant and Bar has been a staple of the community for over 30 years and is serving your favorites like the steak sandwich, waffle fries, and so much more. It's not just the food that's rocking. With a full bar and patio, Biggie's is the perfect spot for lunch, dinner, and a little laughter. Biggie's original hours are back. Open 11 a.m. till midnight, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And 11 a.m. till 1 a.m. on Friday and Saturday. Check out the full menu at biggiesrestaurant.com and stop in today.
Hey, this is Tim McKernan, and I am here with a great TMA sponsor, and that is Longo Biggs Injury Law Firm. And you may hear a bunch of out-of-state law firms advertising here and there all over on billboards and so on and so forth. But the thing is, oftentimes their goal is to just settle and move on, and that's not what you guys do.
Yeah, this is CD Longo, and you hear us talking a lot about maximizing the value of cases, but what does that actually mean? Well, as Tim said, there's lots of personal injury lawyers in St. Louis, and everyone handles cases differently. We focus on getting the highest dollar amount for your injuries, not just getting a resolution quickly. We're constantly tracking all the settlements and verdicts in the area. This helps us advise our clients on whether a settlement offer is too low. And if the amount of compensation being offered is too low, we are happy to file lawsuits and proceed to trial to ensure our clients receive an amount that is fair. Visit our website or Google us at Longo Biggs Injury Law.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hey, this is Tim McKernan, and I am here with Seth Goldcamp of Design Air Heating and Cooling, and I have been a long-time Design Air client. What separates you guys from everybody else?
It's becoming more common for companies to just get their foot in the door. They try to come up with different ways to upsell. They try to see how much they can make off of a customer as opposed to, hey, we're in there to do a service. We're going to do it well. We're going to do it for a fair price.
I don't know how many emails I have received from our listeners who experienced the incredible customer service Design Air Heating and Cooling provides. It's Design Air Heating and Cooling, online at designairservice.com.
The choice of a lawyer is important and shouldn't be based on an ad.
After a serious car accident, people have two questions. Why me and what now? Well, no one knows why you, but I'm Terry Crouppen, and my law firm Brown & Crouppen sure can help with the what now. Car repairs, medical bills, lost wages, pain and suffering. We're Brown & Crouppen, and we've got all those answers. All you have to do is call 222-2222.
John, I'm so tired of this kitchen. We haven't updated anything since we moved in. The stove looks like it's from the 90s, and the rest is... Are you even listening to me?
Did you say something, honey? Yeah, no, kitchen's fine. We have cabinets. There's food in the cabinets. We're good.
Oh, my God.
Guys, if this sounds a little familiar, trust me, your wife is probably right. It's time for a remodel. Collier & Thompson is the company to trust. Not just for kitchens and bathrooms, but for any interior remodeling job. Need a new man cave? Collier & Thompson. Office? Collier & Thompson. Bar? You got it. Collier & Thompson. They even do wine rooms and fireplace walls. Collier & Thompson is your go-to source for every design consideration. They carry the best cabinets, appliances, and countertops in the business. And better yet, it's all under one roof. No need to drive around to 5 to 10 different businesses for one job. At Collier & Thompson, they do it all. Their showroom is on Manchester Road in Baldwin, right next to Uncle Bill's Pancake House. Let Collier & Thompson bring your dream remodel to reality and come home to quality. Online at collierandthompson.com.
Hey, this is Tim McKernan, and I am here with James Carlton, who also happens to be my insurance agent. And I am telling you firsthand that your staff is on top of it right away.
Is there a team in St. Louis that cares more about their clients? And I'll double down that there's not. What we do on a daily basis is coach and educate our customers on available discounts and the appropriate coverage to match their needs.
I can tell you firsthand the best, and I'm so happy I made the switch. And when you switch, they do all the paperwork for you. It's James Carlton, 314-961-4800, or go online at carltoninsurance.net.
TMA listeners have a lot to think through financially. Saving for retirement and college while also paying bills and enjoying life along the way. Call Mark Hanna. Mark works with you to design a strategy to do your finances right. It's a straightforward approach that starts with a 15-minute phone call to discuss your needs. Visit evergreenstl.com or give Mark a call at 314-889-0503 today. Mark Hanna offers securities through Equitable Advisors, LLC, member FINRA, SIPC, a broker-dealer. Equitable Advisors, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Evergreen Wealth Strategies is not a registered investment advisor and is not owned or operated by Equitable Advisors or Equitable Network.
College basketball's biggest tournament is coming, and it's time to start betting like a pro with the world's largest sports book right at your fingertips. Circa Sports Illinois. It's sports betting the way it should be. Experience big app bets with high betting limits, tight money line splits, and more. Fund and bet like a pro anywhere, anytime. It's never been easier. Download your new bookie before all the March action at circasports.com. If you or someone you know have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
The Illinois Recovery Center is dedicated to providing precise and authentic care to those seeking help and treatment. Recovery, it's not just a goal, it's a transformative journey. At Illinois Recovery Center, you'll find an unwavering commitment to provide the support, guidance, and personalized care you or your loved one needs to rediscover a life filled with purpose, strength, and lasting renewal. If you or someone you know wants more information about the Illinois Recovery Center, please call 888-472-9559 or visit IllinoisRecoveryCenter.com.
Hey, if you like the morning after, check out Balloon Party on 101 ESPN. HD1, by the way. It's Sports Talk with Tim McKernan and Action Jackson from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. each weekday, right after the morning after. It's the worst named show in the history of radio, but the content's pretty good, so check it out on 101 ESPN or get the podcast on the TMA app. KPNT HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis.
It's the Brown and Crouppen Morning After.
We needed this.
Well, Tom Kim needs it, Iggy, because he is bogeyed the first hole of the Players.
Idiot. Matt Kuchar started on birdie eagle.
He's now 4 under.
Wow.
Is this his time? Welcome to the 8 o'clock hour of the morning
50.
after, presented by Brown and Crouppen. And Doug, the audience is mad as hornets.
Mad at us again?
They're mad.
Okay.
Plowhawk, are you in the you yelled at Nutsack Jim yesterday? Who you want to yell at?
Well, I mean,
Watch out! Here comes Nutsack Jim.
I guess it's like the 314 bending over backward to bash St. Louis. I think we're just frustrated that we know what it could potentially be, and we don't want to see it fall into like the outside the top 30 market, which could happen in the next 15, 20 years.
We know what it was.
I don't. See, I lived here 12 years. I saw the tail end of the beginning of Ballpark Village and basically my time in downtown.
Mm-hmm.
Soulard was still obviously hopping with, my age group at the time. But I've never seen it thrive and bustle, you guys have.
What about this one? Anytime me or you take hits, I try to read them to try to... Doug, you're a big... You always say spread the wealth, redistribute the wealth. That's your thing?
Absolutely.
Oh, I see the one you're probably going to.
F off, Timmy. You are perfect for St. Louis, a little puddle of S that will eventually go away. You think so highly of yourself, it's just words that fall so you can hear yourself, and then D-U-E-C-H-E.
Let me guess, that's from a 314, not a name.
It is, but I got to say, in fairness, we have a lot of people whose names aren't saved.
Boy, he'd let us have it.
I love that. He got a couple. Why are you scared to take my call, Bill? Look at the text right before at the last second.
He's got to hit. Anytime this gentleman calls in, Jackson always says, proceed with caution.
Really?
Cover my own ass.
Is he on now?
No. Oh.
I'm not going to that. This is the guy that Jay had a situation with Lowe so many years ago. Let's see what else we got. Hey, Tim, F that guy. You were perfect. He could have ended the message there. Block that. That's from Uncle Cucker.
Block him.
That's from Block That Some Bitch. Let's see. Good segment. How about this one? From Zach's wife, Gummy. I always enjoy the St. Louis discussions because they're open and honest. We can't get better unless we're honest. That's from Zach's wife, and her name is Gummy.
Mm-hmm.
Please, Tim, please direct my fisting text to that texter that's from the recovering alcoholic.
Gosh.
It's an open dialogue here on the text line. We appreciate it.
Right.
I remember when I produced the Jerry Gross show downtown, Lou Brock's restaurant.
Well, let's get back to a little story about you.
I can't even see where that ties in. This is like a triple knot.
Well, we did it from Lou Brock's restaurant, which I think was it called the St. Louis Center back then?
The mall?
Yeah, and it was.
Oh, I heard
bustling.
that place was amazing. My Madison parents talk about that place all the time.
I mean, Lou Brock's restaurant was filled every day. We did the show from there. You walk out of there, and there's people everywhere. There's
I don't remember even having a restaurant.
I mean, and it wasn't that long ago. It was in the mid '90s, and
late '80s, early '90s.
Yeah, it was just like all over. They just built that. Union Station was getting built. I mean, there's people everywhere. Now they're just nothing.
There was a time the shops there at Union Station was so crowded it was shoulder to shoulder people.
The fudgery.
The fudgery was big time.
So see, I did turn that into the topic.
Yeah, I remember at Channel 4 we would go for lunch. Oftentimes walk to St. Louis Center just to stretch our legs a little bit, and the food court was so crowded you couldn't hardly find a seat.
Yeah.
And then it just stopped.
But there's also people working downtown consistently as well.
Oh,
and
yeah.
now, I'm not saying COVID, because this has happened, 20 years before I even moved here. I understand it's a long process, but having half the workforce being downtown at brick and mortars and office buildings is a huge hit.
Mm-hmm.
Just even the little money that contributed to people going to lunches, those things are now kind of eliminated.
Yeah.
And cities are challenged now to figure out how to get foot traffic into areas now that really people don't need to go to as frequently.
And it's just not downtown. I mean, I remember Westport was packed. Now it's starting to build back up again.
Westport's doing fine.
Yeah, kind of bustling.
Well, they just reopened it, a bunch of stuff, and added some stuff. But before that, everything closed down. Deerdorf and Hart's left. Patrick's left. There's like 5 other restaurants and bars there that shut down.
Yeah, they had a rough go, but it's definitely come back in a big way. In a big way.
Again, that's Westport, so
worldwide technology moved there.
People don't mind building stuff there.
Right.
What they've done to Midtown is a positive. You got the Putt Shack, you got, the Foundry in that area. You have obviously Top Golf. I don't know how, busy it is or isn't. I don't get down there that often, but seeing places that are open and that exist that look nice with, the aquarium and the Ferris wheel, like, at least that is kind of, it looks good.
There are people trying, God bless them. I see where the new soccer stadium area is going to be renamed City Commons.
Was that right?
Yeah.
I dig it.
They're going to put up logos on signs and everything.
Well, you can text in 314-881-TMA5, Jeff Latman, Compass Realty. Text inbox, call in, Collier and Thompson, phone line 636-9004-TMA, and email in for our Design Air Heating and Cooling email today, the morning after at InsideSTL.com. That is how you can get involved on the radio program. Design Air sponsor of our email of the day, designairservice.com, and work with Seth Goldcamp. He and his family have been operating Design Air Heating and Cooling. Seth is the 4th generation, and what Seth prides himself in is the legacy of his great-grandfather who started the business, his grandfather, and his father, and that is no upselling. Customer service, we take care of the customers, the business will take care of itself. They know that when they call on us, they are not going to get some kind of bad, I don't know what the right word I'm looking for, a bad bid, Doug, where they're getting BS'd, basically. Oh yeah, you got to spend this to, no. I've gotten so many emails over the years from people who say, got an estimate from a couple different companies, then I'm like, I'll try Design Air. And it was way different because the other companies were saying we needed to do this, but Designer said, no, you don't. And that's how Seth operates the company. It's Design Air Heating and Cooling, online at designairservice.com, the official HVAC provider of TMA and the Tim McKernan Show podcast. Jackson, I want to place a wager on Matt Kuchar to win by 30 strokes this weekend. Where can I do it?
Cooch. That's what people yell when he walks by. I yell, Circa.
Do you really?
It's so
that's where you
sick.
put the
It's
money
so
down.
sick.
That is actually pretty dope. Nice job,
thank
Daddy.
you. Yeah, super dope.
Very dope.
The world's largest sports book in Las Vegas is now in Illinois. The Circa Sports app is sports betting the way it should be, with big app bets, high betting limits, tight money line splits, and the best customer service around. Maybe you want to bet on Matt Kuchar at the Players. Nothing wrong with that. Put a little action down. Maybe you want to bet on some hockey, some pro basketball. But I think we all know that coming up just in a week or two, we have the big dance, baby. So much fun to bet on. Whether you like maybe like a 5 seed, maybe you like the over in this 1 versus 16 game because it might get a little bit tight down the stretch. We all love watching March Madness, and it's even more fun to put a little action on it. And you can do so with the Circa Sports app. Visit circasports.com for more details and get ready to start betting like a pro. If you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
Our 9 o'clock hour hour will be brought to you by Schaefer Door Company. Just got on board with the show and got this email just, Doug, it's 8:24, so I got it 8 minutes ago. Tim, this happened before Schaefer Door became a sponsor. My wife and I purchased a home in December. During the inspection process, we noticed the older garage door opener was making a skull-penetrating, what an adjective.
Skull-penetrating.
Screeching noise. We noted it and prepared to have to replace it. Called Schaefer Door Company to ask them to come over and advise us on our best options. When their service tech arrived, they had brought the new garage door opener, but the tech thought he knew exactly what the issue was. After taking care of the issue with lubricating the moving components, the garage door now functions perfectly despite being 30-plus years old. The service tech advised me on how and when to lubricate the garage door opener, did not attempt to upsell. They charged me a normal service fee and left. I will continue to use Schaefer Door Company for any of my garage door needs. That comes from Uncle Cucker, who has had a wonderful experience with our new 9 o'clock hour sponsor, and that is Schaefer Door Company, SCHAEFER door.com. You can spell Schaefer a bunch of different ways. Here's how they're spelled, SCHAEFER door.com, and then they've set up a specific number for our listeners, 636-782-3608. It's Schaefer Door Company, sponsor of the 9 o'clock hour, with a specific number for our listeners, 636-782-3608. Get involved on the radio program, Doug. The Blues have beaten the Bruins and the Kings, and here they come, even though our friends at Money Puck still give them a 3.7% chance of making the playoffs.
That's kind of the way this whole season is. You write them off, and then they come back, and then you think, well, we got a shot, and then they fall apart. I mean, they look really good the last two games. Bennington was outstanding last night.
God, if they could, I know it's not likely, obviously, 3.7% chance, but God, when you have a guy playing like that, it's just the kind of thing that can carry a team.
He can steal a game for you, Timmy.
He can steal a series, Jack. I don't know if he can steal a chalice, but he can steal a series.
Yep.
And the Blues had a really rock-solid effort, obviously, from Jordan Bennington. That goes without saying with the kind of performance that he gave last night. Here is Jordan Bennington on his game last night.
Hit the lever, please.
I don't know. I just sometimes you don't even think, right? You're just kind of reacting, and that was kind of just a free-for-all moment, and it was fun. That's the old road hockey mini stick goalie coming out of you.
What?
Road hockey mini stick goalie coming out of you.
What does that mean?
I guess it's when you were a kid and you went on road trips and you played shinny hockey in the hallway with a mini stick. Just diving all over the place, saving everything. I guess. Hockey. That's all I got on that.
The problem for the Blues is the Predators are, Predators might be nice if you're looking to throw a little dart on a Stanley Cup winner that isn't expected. They are just on a heater. I mean, you brought it up yesterday when the Blues played them about a month ago on that Saturday. It was like an afternoonish game.
Mm-hmm.
It was less than a month ago. I think it was less than a month ago, and they could have gone up 6 points on the Predators. The Predators went into Winnipeg last night, and I know it's Winnipeg, but Winnipeg's a damn good team, and beat the Jets. So the issue for the Blues is they've just got so many teams that they're going to have to pass, and the team that's in 7th place is just not losing. As great as Nashville is, they're still 7 points back of the Jets, and Nashville has just been on a heater. 8-0-2 in their last 10. VGK has won 2 in a row, so even with the Blues wins, they're still 6 points back of the Golden Knights and 9 points back of the Predators, and they are tied with their next opponent, the Minnesota Wild, at 71. The Kraken are at 68 points. Flames at 67. But, Doug, if you could get them in, and maybe go up against, I don't know, maybe the Canucks. I don't know. It could be any of probably 4 teams, really. I'd love to see Jordan Bennington get a chance. I don't expect it, but I would enjoy it.
They're running out of season here. They've only got, 16 games left to play?
That's right.
That's not a whole lot of time to make it. 6 points doesn't sound like a lot, but the other teams are winning too.
Well, the math is usually 93 to 95 points is going to get you a wild card spot. And you sit there and you go, okay, well, if that's the case, then you got to basically, I mean, the math is pretty easy. If you're sitting at 71 points, you got to get 22 to 24 points over these 16 games. It gives you an idea of what you got to do. And you basically got to win about 70% of your remaining games. Yeah. And they do that. Their schedule's favorable. It's a home schedule. Jake Neighbors is emerging, and Jordan Binnington is on fire. So...
Well, I'm going Sunday, Tim, and you better believe I'm going to put my finger in some chests.
You're going to actually scold people?
Yeah, tell people to start playing a 200-foot game.
I guess you're going to go walk up to 25 then.
Well, I'm going to go locker to locker.
Wow.
And start with Lowry and clean house. That's what Malcolm Briggs said years ago. That's what stuck in my mind.
So you are going to clear house?
Yeah.
What if they get hot, Doug?
Well, if we can just get hot, we can win this baby. But we got to get really hot. They'd probably have to win. Realistically, they'd probably have to win 7 or 8 in a row, don't you think?
Well, I mean, I think they have to go basically 11-5. I think that's kind of the.
Yeah.
You got to get to 93 points at a minimum. But the thing is, if you do look at the schedule, there are some friendly ones out there. I mean, don't get me wrong. You still have the Avalanche. You'll get heads up against Vegas on the 25th.
But it doesn't seem to matter. You look at the schedule and think, oh, gosh, they got to go to Boston. They killed Boston in Boston. Then they come home and lay eggs against teams that they should beat. It's just hard to predict.
Colorado, Vegas, Edmonton. Now, all those are at home, for the record. And at Dallas to wrap up the season. The thing about that is that game might not mean anything for Dallas. But then you look at the rest of the opposition, and yeah, they're playing a team they're battling right now and tied with in Minnesota on Saturday, and you got the back-to-back, and Doug will be down there on Sunday against the Ducks, and you're going after some people.
Yeah, probably before the game and between periods.
But Ducks, Senators, Flames have already sold. I mean, they're still lurking, but Sharks and more Sharks, Ducks, Blackhawks, Kraken. Oh, they also have the Hurricanes in there too. But I mean, point being, they're out there to be won.
Yeah.
It would be super fun. Am I expecting it? No. Do I want it? You better believe it.
They do play the absolute worst teams in the league, a bunch. San Jose's horrible. The Ducks are terrible.
What about Hockey Went Wingy? What about Hockey Went Wingy?
Hockey Wingy, horrible. But you just got to convert. Hell, they's on scholarship too.
Connor Bedard is on a scholarship.
Yeah.
What's he doing? Is he having a good year as a rookie or not?
2 nights ago, he had a goal and 4 assists. He got hurt. He was out for a while.
Yeah.
He hasn't been Wayne Gretzky like they thought he would be, but he's been probably the Hawks' best player, probably offensively.
And Hockey Went Wingy.
Hockey definitely went wingy. The Blues could take him. Put it that way. They would use him.
Doug, I don't know if you were listening to former Liverpool player turned pundit Jamie. Do you say Carragher?
Sure.
Randy
Carragher.
How do you pronounce it, Jackson?
Carragher.
Really? Nice.
You're guessing, aren't you?
No, it's Jamie Carragher.
This is what's going on here. Set this up because I have to say I'm incredibly curious about this audio.
Okay, so this is the CBS Network's soccer show. They usually do it for Champions League, and it features Kate Abdo as like the host. Imagine her as the Ernie Johnson.
Yep.
Then they have Thierry Henry, one of the greatest soccer players ever, French, played for Arsenal. Then they have Jamie Carragher, who played for Liverpool, and Micah Richards. I believe that's his last name. If I'm wrong, apologies.
Seinfeld?
No. And it's a pretty funny show, and they make a lot of jokes and stuff. And Kate Abdo has a fiance, an American fiance. She's British, and there are some allegations made.
Oh no!
Yep.
Wear it next, and for the last part, you've got to wear it.
No, I'm loyal. I'm loyal.
To who?
My jacket
Manchester
looks nice,
United.
big man.
Thank you
My
very
jacket
much.
looks nice.
Not to Malik.
What? Why would you even say that?
Sorry?
He hasn't had a mention in the show yet, has he?
I am Kate Abdo, and well, you know what? This group, we've been together now for 3.5 years, is it? I think. And I grew up with a brother and doing this show. I feel like I've gained 3 more here at the desk. Yes, 3 more brothers. So, let me introduce you to the group again. Thierry Henry, of course, the golden child. Can do no wrong. always says the right thing, sets the example for the rest of us. Can he be intimidating? Yes, he can.
Wow.
But he is the big brother that we all look up to and we all aspire to, Thierry.
Wow.
Yes.
Amen to that.
Amen to that. Then there is the middle child, Jamie Carragher. Chip on his shoulder, capable of saying anything for attention. Does he go too far sometimes? Absolutely. Does he apologize? Yes, he does. But all of us have that one annoying family member that we still love and accept.
Now that's how you treat it like a boss.
What in the world did we just listen to?
I thought that was good audio.
Plowhawk, could you explain it to...
So she basically was accused, laughingly, obviously jokingly, by one of her cohorts of cheating on her fiance, and she took it and ran with it in a positive way by, thanking her co-host for how long the show had been on, and then making kind of a fun joke at the guy who he apparently apologized off of air. It sounds like so. I don't know, Jackson, if I'm correct on this, but it seems like it was a bad joke, and instead of really ruining his career, she decided to take the high road, and I respect the hell out of that. Because it was a dumb joke, for sure.
Yeah, bad thing to be joking
bad
about.
take. You can't be doing that.
Carragher's kind of known for putting his foot in his mouth sometimes.
I actually know what show you're talking about, because it's like sometimes when I get home with the dog, it's on like this NBC like sports network.
I wonder what's up with this. A lot of these sports shows are going to English anchors.
Well, I mean, this
it's
is
soccer.
Soccer.
All right, well, let me go to the Golf Channel.
European-based
Let me go to the
soccer
Golf
as well.
Channel. The last 3 hosts on the Golf Channel have been English women.
Sure, but that's usually the sport's mostly played in America, whereas they're only covering European soccer.
All right, but I'm
And it's
talking golf,
elegant
too.
to have
Golf
that
is an American
accent.
sport, and it's mostly Americans playing golf, but it's a company out of America, Golf Channel, and they've had the last 3 anchors on their desk have been English. It just seems like a lot more English females are coming over to the States and getting anchor jobs.
Right.
Not that I have anything wrong with that. I love an English accent. I just don't know what that's about.
What I don't understand why so many American soccer coaches come from Europe. I mean, we've been playing soccer in a big way in this country for decades, and we still can't come up with coaches? We still don't have general managers? Seriously? We always have to go to Europe to get a coach?
Pat McBride coached the Steamers. You sound like an ass.
Yeah, he's my neighbor. I love Pat McBride.
Hey, Doug, how about you get to know your neighbor a little bit?
I know him.
Well, the U.S. isn't very good in soccer, so they have to go
So
elsewhere.
we don't have any coaches?
They don't have any players.
That's a
We
good
got some
point as
players.
well. I mean, yeah, there's a couple that have gone to bigger and better things, yeah. But for the most...
Not many.
Not many. I completely agree. I'm not saying they're not successful, but that top-tier leagues, you don't see American-born and bred players often.
The top college coaches don't seem to get a shot. I'm talking like MLS and things like that. It always seems to be the European guy is in charge. And I just wonder why we can't develop more top coaches.
Maybe the best players are European players, so you get a European coach.
Nice.
I mean, when's the last time the U.S. did anything in the World Cup?
Men's soccer, it's been a long time. Women's soccer, they usually
Women's, yes.
they win it.
Men's, no.
Okay.
And the women's soccer.
My question stands. We have millions of people playing soccer in this country. Did none of them ever become top quality coaches?
Obviously
And
not.
that guys who kick with both legs?
That was, if you're going to get a coach and you ask that question to your players, do you guys kick with both legs? Probably not getting a job.
But
I don't know.
Francesa's
If I
not in
heard-
charge. I mean, Bruce Arena is one of the few that I can think of that was American all the way. That was, a really big name coach. Most of them seem to be European.
How much success did he have?
Moderate.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Okay, make it stop. He's even popular in Europe.
That's from Cucky the Dwarf.
Make what stop?
Cucky,
I didn't
call
start
in
the soccer talk.
636-900.
It started with an innocent little clip of an English woman bashing a Frenchie.
Yeah. Well, no, the Frenchie got off. He
got off?
He was the golden child.
Thierry Henry. Jamie Carragher.
Where's he from?
Liverpool.
Texas.
All right, the English guy. Well, an English lady going off on an English guy.
Yeah.
That's how he started.
Yeah, sure was.
And they were doing a soccer show, so.
Mm-hmm.
Doug Darrell Duran is my member guest golf partner. He's basically soccer royalty. That's from Hedonism.
He is, yeah. Pat McBride told me that he thought Darrell Duran was probably the best soccer player St. Louis ever produced.
Wow, is that right?
Yeah. That may have changed since this Sergeant, the guy
Josh
from St.
Sargent.
John, yeah.
Was he a big-time player before indoor soccer?
Duran?
Yeah.
I think so. I think so.
I don't remember that. He's a great guy.
Did you guys play much soccer?
I played very little as a kid. Then
I bet you tore it up in their murals.
No. Well, I did in...
Oh, they talk about the goal he scored.
I did indoor soccer. We had a restaurant league that all the restaurants would play on Saturdays at about midnight. I was the goaltender. I think I gave up 1 goal in 20 games.
Yeah. And that was probably a fluke.
No,
you're probably offsides.
I was a very good goaltender.
Hands, ref!
No, I'd have my cigarettes and a scotch in the net and just...
I know more about JFK than I do about sports.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Like with a symphony.
Oh, here comes a shot. I better put the cigarette out. Kick save, back to the cigarette and the scotch.
Like I said, it just wasn't popular. It just wasn't in high school. It was like for me, so we did it as little kids.
Yeah.
But that's basically just getting exercise and trying to stay within the parameters of the game.
When I was in high school, it was a winter sport.
Oh, really?
Guys running around in shorts in the winter playing soccer.
Ugh. No thanks.
Wasn't about to do that.
God, I see cross country is ran in the winter sometimes. I'm seeing, I'm like,
at least
what?
Yeah, I don't get it.
Running on rough terrain, 20-degree temps. God, I mean, that's miserable.
It sounds like a sprained ankle just waiting to happen.
Or pneumonia.
Yeah.
Both.
That was just one I couldn't get into. I mean, as a kid, I played everything, as most kids do. But I was more into baseball and hockey. I played like 2 years of kid soccer. I never had fun.
And yet you were still an outstanding goalkeeper.
Well, as I got older, yeah.
You could protect the onion bag.
Well, we were playing against restaurant people, mostly be girls. I just let them get breakaways, and I'd let them get all the way to the goal, and then just kind of...
Snuffed out their dreams.
And then I just rush them and get the ball away
Oh,
from them.
baited them. Nice.
Yeah. Bait and swing.
Yeah,
Bait and swing.
If I want to try and get laid, I'd let them score.
Ugh, that never worked, did it?
What a move, Doug.
Are you telling me that worked?
Never did work. Nice shot. Great goal.
And then they instantly want to sleep with you.
Want to have a drink?
You know, this is not like being on the fan. You know, you're here because you want to be here. You're subscribing to what we do. So, I mean, if you want to go on there and, talk about Giambi or anybody else, be my guest.
I love how he's so calm, but just absolutely trashing people. He's very good at that.
I feel like we don't talk about Giambi enough.
Well, that was the thing, like, it was kind of the diaper era of this show. Like
the diaper era. Doug, you remember the diaper era?
Remember when people were coming up and bringing a pack of Pampers for you to sign?
Oh, God, yeah.
But he had a time where Francisca, every caller would ask him about Jason Giambi. I don't know what the origin of it was, but every question was very serious at the beginning, and somebody would always drop a Jason Giambi thing, and it riled them up. Again, don't know the backstory, but that's the Giambi.
Didn't he have his best years with the A's?
Oh, he killed it with the Yankees a little bit.
A's and Yankees.
He had a brother, too, didn't he?
Jeremy.
Sidelined by Billy Bean in Moneyball.
He just recently passed away, I believe.
Really?
Jeremy? Yeah. I think last year.
He knew how to have fun.
Per Moneyball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's about time we got around to the Giambi discussion.
Big names rising up early at the Players, Tim.
God.
Thanks, Farron.
No one,
like
and I mean no one cares.
He literally was on like the third tower. That's what he chiming into Tim's ear.
Yeah, I assume that you have some of these players on your roster.
No, I don't, but McElroy's up there early. Cantley's up there early. Shoffley's up there early. I think Rory was 3 under through 3.
How about that?
Okay. Gosh.
He has been
3 holes. We're giving 3 hole updates.
There's only 69 left.
Is he on your team, Doug?
Shoffley.
Nice. How do you feel about that? Is this
I
exciting?
feel great.
Well on your way.
Yeah, great. Now, what was that noise?
Yeah, I hate it because, like, I guess I should probably try. It's just email notifications.
Okay.
Do. Kind of like, remember when the meow? I accidentally put the meow in place.
It used to be, you've got mail. What happened to that?
You know that guy made no money off of that?
He didn't?
They did a little expose on him. On Sunday morning, picked it up, and they did like a 2-minute thing. And yeah, never made money, but he still loves the idea of him being the You Got Mail guy.
I still have that. When I open up on my desktop at home, I click on You've Got Mail.
Really?
Because I still got AOL.
You have AOL.com?
Yeah. Well, you know my address.
What is it? Negril111 at AOL.com?
Yeah. I had to go to that yesterday because it's that time of the month again where I go to my Hubbard and it says, please sign in, and I can't, so.
You can't because you still can't remember the password?
No, I know the password, but there's other things that don't happen, so I have to go talk to Drew today.
What else doesn't happen?
It's Cantlay, not Cantlay. Stop being an intentional moron. That's from Beer Cats, and he won the Milagro Tequila Listener of the Month in January of 2023. An intentional moron.
Yeah, I say it on purpose just to get attention, unlike you who texting every day hoping, hey, Timmy, read my text. Oh, he read it.
No, he doesn't make that noise.
He read my text. Everybody, did you hear him? He read my text.
Hey, Tim, me, Lass, and I are moving to Cape Cod for the summer. We've secured a cottage with beach views. Come join us for activities. That's from Sweet Sweet Kai.
Oh, really?
That's Jackson's buddy.
Yep.
Well, Kai's trying to get on the gay action.
He's going to the Cape, is he?
That's right. Yeah, they're spending the summer in the Cape.
What does he do to have that kind of cash?
Yeah, this Sweet Sweet Kai.
It's his girlfriend. She's a travel nurse.
And she's apparently hot.
And she's traveling to Cape Cod.
Jackson got high pitched there, Doug. Did you pick it up? It was very subtle.
Well, he's like my best friend. It's kind of tough for me to like. But she's an attractive woman, very much so.
But she got hit on by another woman in the bathroom at like a cocktail lounge.
Oh.
That is correct.
Why do you say that like Howard Stern?
Well, it was
because I'm ripping off.
It was less that she got hit on and more Sweet Sweet Kai got berated.
So is that a cocky?
Because he's not like good looking enough to have.
That would be. Yeah.
Oh, Sweet Sweet Kai not good looking? Am I not going to want to enter him?
No, he's a handsome cat.
But she's going to the Cape to take care of the Kennedys this summer?
I was going to say, you wouldn't think of the Cape would need a traveling nurse. They got enough money to probably have their own doctors, wouldn't they?
Well, I mean, they have hospitals.
They do, but I'm sure they have traveling nurses everywhere now.
Yeah. I mean, every place has a hospital, and so there's a need for nurses.
That's quite a deal. Those traveling nurses really do well.
They've enjoyed themselves. They went from West Virginia to Baltimore to New Hampshire and now to the Cape.
And they're paid very well.
Yeah, cool way to see. Like, it's a good thing to do when you're young.
Yeah.
You don't have kids or anything, and you can kind of just move around and see America. Kind of pick where you want to live. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Kind of annoying to like get housing every 5 months, but
why don't we become traveling nurses?
I think we should become traveling HD2 hosts. We come to your city and we just make it better.
And we rip your town.
Yeah. We'll start low. We'll run through like Big Sky Country, and then we'll get the big call.
Yeah, would kind of be a fun thing to do, actually.
El Paso, Texas.
Not there, but
okay. Albuquerque, New Mexico.
You go to fun towns and just enjoy the fare there. It'd be a fun thing to do. And do some traveling nursing on the side.
Whatever makes us the most bread.
Yeah.
Cash money comes in large amounts. Yeah. Doug, can you tell us about Collier and Thompson, sponsor of the phone line 636-9004, TMA?
Nice to have them as a sponsor. This is a business that's been around St. Louis since the 1950s, and you don't hang around in this kind of business, especially without having a whole lot, I'm talking thousands of satisfied customers. Word-of-mouth advertising is probably the most important type of advertising. And once you have a project done by Collier and Thompson, you will be satisfied because of their great commitment to quality. A lot of people are thinking, if we could find our dream house, maybe we would move. But maybe you're living in your dream house right now, you just haven't fixed it up. Collier and Thompson is there to do that for you. They can sure fix up your kitchens and bathrooms especially. That's not all they do, though. They do basements, they do wine rooms and man caves and accent rooms and bars, fireplace walls, offices, you name it. They can do it. They've got the carpenters and the painters and the electricians. They've got it all right there, and they can do it. You just go to one place. You don't have to shop around to several different contractors. You just go to Collier and Thompson, and they've got you covered from start to finish. I like to say from scoop to nuts. They've got a great showroom out there in Manchester and Baldwin, over 10,000 square feet. You can look at some of their kitchen displays. I mean, they are gorgeous kitchens. And you'll say, wait, why would we move? Why would we move if we can fix up our own house and not pay the moving expenses and walk away from our 2% mortgage? You can make your own house the dream house that you're looking for, thanks to Collier and Thompson. The owner there are fantastic, Carolyn Beard and Bob Strati, great people. Carolyn's been there since 2002, Bob since 2004. They've worked with so many St. Louisans, and you find somebody who has a Collier and Thompson kitchen put in, and they'll say, come look at it. This place is gorgeous. They just do outstanding work. Service and quality is their number one priority. Collier and Thompson on Manchester and Baldwin, right there next to Uncle Bill's Pancake House. Come home to quality at Collier and Thompson, online at collierandthompson.com.
There it is. If you are looking to get your lawn in perfect condition as spring approaches in St. Louis, use the company that Doug and I use, and that company is Green Envy. Green Envy was out at my house a couple of weeks ago. They've been in business in St. Louis for a couple of decades. Green Envy only uses products that are formulated for our Missouri and Illinois soil, weather conditions, and turf types. No national, generic, cheap, ineffective products. Got some rain this morning, and with rain, spring weeds will explode when the temperatures warm up. Now is the time to get ahead of it. And here is one of the things that Green Envy customers can enjoy. Service calls are no charge for weed touch-up or reapplying weed control. That's for Green Envy customers. Call 636-757-1600. That's 636-757-1600. Their service professionals are commercially licensed applicators as certified by the Missouri Department of Agriculture. And what this does, it is ensuring you have a trained professional on your property. No part-timers or high school kids applying God knows what on the lawn. 636-757-1600. That is Green Envy. Ken Rosenthal with a column this morning as he visits Cardinals camp in Jupiter, Florida. Quote, I'm skeptical. You're skeptical. Many fans and baseball people are skeptical of the St. Louis Cardinals' revamped starting rotation. Yet when I asked the Cardinals' four most veteran starters for their own assessments, they expressed confidence bordering on defiance about what they plan to accomplish this season, about their ability to succeed without a classic ace. Quote, it's really hard to go into a season when you have questions about your pitching, Kyle Gibson said. I don't think we have that here. How about that, Doug? Uh-oh. I saw the Plowhawks.
Well, confidence is a good thing.
I can't get there fast enough. When has a team gone
can
in
I get
deep
the,
run?
Can I get the
get
oven
them,
mittens?
Get them on.
Okay.
You actually may need two layers.
Yeah, thank you, EDF Group, for the
two
oven
layers
mittens.
of mittens?
I'm going to need them. I don't want to get scolded. Go ahead.
And I'm actually asking an honest question. Had there ever been a team in the last 25 years that had gone on a deep run, won the World Series, or gotten to the World Series with zero ace?
Sonny Gray is an ace.
Well, they're talking about not having an ace. I'm saying if you don't look at Sonny Gray as a complete ace, that's kind of what the article says, is you don't need to go into the season. You don't need to have an ace.
Well, they talk about it in the column as to whether or not he is an ace. He notes that Lynn will pitch the season at the age of 37, Gibson 36, Michaelis at 35, and Gray at 34. Matz, the projected fifth starter, it will pitch at 33. So that's kind of fun, though. 37, 36, 35, 34, 33.
Good times, yeah.
Show me a World Series contender with that age and that rotation and those stat lines, and I'll concede.
I don't think anybody said they're World Series contender.
He said they don't need an
That's
ace.
Kyle Gibson. Yeah. So is Gray truly an ace, Rosenthal writes. Michaelis mildly objected to the question, responding, if a guy's a runner-up for a Cy Young Award and you're not going to call him an ace, your standards are pretty high. That's what Miles Michaelis said.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of in agreement with that.
Pretty good argument.
Yeah. I
mean, how many guys were better last year in the American League? One?
And he might be done.
Yeah.
Cole, that is.
Yeah. I'd say he's an ace. He'd be the ace on a lot of teams. The ace, I think, by definition, is just the best pitcher on your staff, and he is that.
Now they're saying he may be ready opening day.
He's going to throw on the side again today.
Back-to-back.
So you like that? What about when guys jog on the warning track?
I hate jogging on the warning track. Florida is a huge state. It's almost all flat. You can run anywhere. You don't have to be running on the warning track during a spring training game, getting in the way of the outfielders. Gosh, that drives me nuts.
LaRusso used to run around the stadium on Jupiter.
Around the stadium would be fine.
Yeah, you go out
on the field during a game, not okay.
I don't know what these players are supposed to say when you say it's just really, can this contend with these starting pitchers? What is they supposed to say? What is Gibson supposed to say? Yeah, you're probably right. We're all old. Probably not going to do much. I mean, what are they supposed to say?
Yeah, I'm with you there. They have to show confidence. You'd be worried if they didn't have confidence, wouldn't you?
Well, they're showing it on the mound. They didn't have much confidence. But outside of Zach Thompson, who had a very solid outing. Yeah.
They need somebody like that to step up in a big
100%.
way. In a big way.
Doug, agree.
And Lipitor, I think he's a relief pitcher.
Yes.
Because when he only pitches an inning or so, he throws 97 miles an hour. But over the long haul, he just doesn't have the control to get people out consistently.
Yeah, you're going to need somebody to sneak up and surprise you.
Got a lot of people in that bullpen.
Well, I don't even know the bullpen.
Well, they added like 4 arms.
One of which was really good, right? The trade we did with the Rays, if I'm not mistaken.
Kittredge and Middleton to pair with what you would hope would be bounce-back years for Gallegos and Helsley.
Helsley, yeah.
Yeah. Ben Frederickson today with a column. This has certainly become a bigger talking point here over the last couple of weeks on Victor Scott, and that's his column this morning in the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. After a statement game against the Red Sox the day before, Victor Scott arrived at the Twins' Lee Health Sports Complex on Wednesday in Fort Myers to discover Cardinals manager Ali Marmol made a statement of his own. There was Scott's name atop Marmol's lineup, hitting leadoff and starting in center field for a Grapefruit League game against the starter-heavy Twins. Dylan Carlson, who some rush to assume will slide from fourth outfielder to starting center fielder after injuries to Edman and Nootbaar clouded their opening day availability, shifted to left field. Maybe some assumptions were premature. During Tuesday's 8-6 win against the Sox, Scott went 3 for 3 to raise his spring training slash line to a .370 average, a .469 on-base percentage, and a .913 OPS. He woke up Wednesday with twice as many spring runs scored, 8, as many walks, 4, as strikeouts, 4. Impressive. Now what? That was the thinking that led to Marmol's decision. The manager is often interested in how a young player will respond and react to an extreme, whether that's failure or success. Scott needed one pitch to show his reaction. He immediately turned what would have been a ground out for most into an infield single. The throw he beat to first belonged to platinum glove holder Carlos Correa. Quote, when I saw how he fielded it, I kind of saw he was on his heels, so I knew I had a chance. Scott then spoiled it could have been Twins double play by speeding to second on a Carlson grounder. No, the sequence wasn't as loud as Carlson's home run in the 7th inning, but it sent a ripple through a Cardinal dugout that just last season labored through too many flat starts and too much dulled base running. Quote, it starts the game off with energy, and then you get a routine ground ball to short where normally they have enough time to get on the step on the bag and at the very least get the lead runner, and that wasn't possible either. So now you have a guy in scoring position. Normally it's 2 outs and nobody on. Instead it's 1 out and a runner on second. So Scott now has the Cardinals' full attention as he continues to turn his breakout minor league season in 23 into an impressive camp showing. Injuries around him are making an opening roster spot a potential reality. How about that, Doug? Vince Coleman. And that's his favorite player, by the way, Vince Coleman.
Yeah, they need somebody like that to put a jolt of energy into the team, I think, at the top of the line. I think it'd be great. I don't know what they're waiting for.
Not just that, fans love young guys. And if you're coming off, 20 games out of first, and you're looking at maybe the same season, you at least want to fill that stadium. And you want to look at guys like a Jordan Walker. You want to look at Mason Wynn. You want Scott there. And I think we know what we have with Carlson. I'm sorry, we know what we have in Tyler O'Neill. Like, those guys are...
Tyler O'Neill's not on the team anymore.
Oh, is not? Oh, nice.
He got traded to Boston.
Nice. But we know
what we had.
But you know what you have in Carlson, so, he's not going to be an everyday player. He's a pretty solid fourth outfielder, but to rely on him to do, 450, 500 at-bats, I just don't see it.
Yeah.
So you might as well put some young guys out there and let them learn.
I think Carlson, going to yesterday, I think he only had 2 hits all spring. He's doing about what you expect.
Yeah.
Edman's status is going to be updated any moment, as a matter of fact. And Nootbaar, if they're both unable to start, the choice doesn't have to be Carlson or Scott. The Cardinals can put both on their opening day roster. Alec Burleson, too. Scott is not on the 40-man roster, so make room, Ben Frederickson writes. We all know the Cardinals need better defense and more speed than we saw a season ago. Scott adds both at a high level. He brings an electric presence to the bases. You can watch defenses and pitchers get physically uncomfortable when he's on first base, leaning, dancing, itching to run. Doug, you'll like this. Baseball's an entertainment business. Scott's entertainment. Fans will love watching him play. And if offense is going to be a little bit scarce, while some key bats are down, doubling down on defense and speed is an approach Cardinal fans can and will get behind. I'm telling you, when I was growing up and watching the Cardinals in the 1980s, so help me, if Coleman in particular, but also McGee, Ozzie, Tommy Herr were on first base, you watched the first base pit, because it wasn't like a dirt infield, it was a pit of dirt on the AstroTurf, more than you watched home plate, and you just waited for him to go. And it was the best. I loved that crap. And
Lou
that's
Brock, too, going back a little farther. You don't
yeah.
remember him. He was great that way, too. Yeah, I think it makes all the sense in the world. Mo calls me most afternoons.
I didn't know that.
To pick my brain. And when he calls today and says, we just don't have room on the 40-man roster, I'm going to say, let me see that roster. I'll find somebody, and I'll cut his ass.
My God.
And we'll make room for this guy. He's a center fielder from day one, and he bats leadoff, and he needs 500 at-bats.
Nice. This is a take. Give the mitts.
Why are the mittens on?
God.
Yes.
You could probably hot
What do
right
you got
now.
to lose? What other outfielders just are begging for playing time other than Jordan Walker? Who else?
Obviously, Fowler's established.
We don't need Fowler anymore, but who else out there is just pounding on the door saying, here I am, give me the playing time. This is the guy.
Baker.
He's a first baseman.
Oh, it's a player. You didn't say outfielder. You said a player.
I did say outfielder.
So what players?
I said, what other outfielder is so good right now, showing so much promise that you just have to play him? I don't see anybody.
Coles.
I see Walker. Yes, he's going to be out there every night. And I think Scott should be too.
They already stitched Newt Barr's red jacket. He's played a year and a half.
Oh.
So you obviously have him and that little solid rib cage he got going on. So.
Plowhawk, they're all over you on the especially Big Old Fan. He's been waiting for that moment.
That's fine. I mean, they can let him eat, baby. I mean,
that was your birthday gift to them.
Yeah, here you go. Enjoy it.
Shut the F up!
Oh.
You don't even know who's on the team. What an embarrassment. Pick one thing and become an expert at instead of giving takes on stuff you don't know about. Put a Twinkie in your butt and shut up. Big Old Fan, Doug. He won worst texter of the
I kind
year.
of like that text, though, honestly. If you're going to go angry, you got to do the Twinkie up the butt scenario.
Yeah.
That's really the end-all, be-all killer.
It don't matter, Plowsy, because he's the
Doesn't
same.
matter. It doesn't matter.
Because he's the same as when he was here. He's hurt.
Well, I messed up and let the text. I give the text line free reign.
Doug, here comes Nutsack Jim.
Oh, watch out!
Oh, is he in here?
Here comes Nutsack Jim.
There's a lot of them in here and there.
I love Nutsack Jim, though. He picks his spots very well. Harrison Brother, he's way too active. Big Old Fan's a little too active.
Yeah.
But the Twinkie up the butt really is good.
That'll fit right up there with the Cheeto.
There's a lot in there, Doug.
Yeah, it was a healthy text with a lot of material.
A lot of young kids are having good springs, and veterans aren't. There's like 3 backup second basemen that have the highest average on the team.
Yeah, so JC is hitting the heck out of him. I don't think there's room for him. I think he'll be he's only 21, so I expect he'll go to AAA and he'll play every day as opposed to sit behind Donovan and Arenado. That doesn't make sense. You got Crawford as a backup middle infielder.
And Jose Fermin, and there's somebody else that's having a good spring who plays second base. I never heard of him before.
Red Shandings?
Oh, the old redhead.
I heard of him.
Julian Javier.
Heard of him.
Okay.
I've never heard of him.
You haven't?
Julian Javier?
Yes.
Geronimo Pena?
Yeah.
I was part of that
Stepped
great
on a glove, got
was an
hurt.
all-star infield with Bill White, Julian Javier, Dick Grote, and Ken Boyer, I believe.
Javier was, on that infield.
Yeah. All 4 made the all-star game.
Brooks Koepka's uncle.
I remember
Yeah.
it wasn't uncommon for Julian Javier.
Grandfather, one or the other.
He was a right-handed hitter, and sometimes they would bat him 3rd against left-handed pitching, and then he'd bat like 7th against right-handed pitching.
So that big of a
he just destroyed left-handed pitching. And very fast.
That's good.
Good player.
All the poors already bought the $3.14 Cardinal tickets. Cheers to another terrible effing season. Love the takes, Plowboy. That's from the South City Hoosier aficionado. What is this? Their $3.14?
Probably celebrating
314 day.
314 day, I would think, right? Pi Day?
Cardinals do a good job of marketing to keep that stadium filled up.
Those monthly or yearly passes people have come up to me and talked about seem like a good deal.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot what the exact price is, and I think it's month to month where you get 5 or 6 game packs. And
is that where you can? And there's also one where you can go to any game with standing room.
I think that might be what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you get standing room up in that right field Budweiser area.
For a low price point, I do believe it
monthly,
is.
You pay monthly, but you get tickets to every game. So
I think that's the move because I like going to the bow tie bar and I kind of like walking around.
Yeah,
I
a
don't
lot of people
technically
do.
see myself in my seat for more than a couple innings. So.
They call the bow tie bar?
They call it that, yeah.
Yeah, that's in left field.
Really?
The place
Yeah.
that you get standing room is like the
$5 cans of beer. It's like the best place to go to. Kind of a hidden gem.
I think it's great for people that really can't afford to go to the game and want to take their kids to a game, but God, for $3.14, you must mean like section 600.
Well, the standing areas have you can find those standing areas with like little bar tops.
Well, these aren't standing room; these are tickets for $3.14. So you got
I
to be
wouldn't
up in the
buy it,
rafters at the final couple rows. I mean, you can't see anything.
But you're in.
Yeah.
You can see enough.
Really good for younger folks who like go to the Cardinal games more as a social environment, which is that's a big market and shouldn't be ignored.
Oh, yeah, there's a big chunk of people that just like to go to Ballpark Village and have a drink before and see people and walk around the stadium, have a beer and check things out, leave about the 7th inning.
Or the 2nd inning.
They don't leave in the 2nd. They do leave early, a lot of them.
I do.
Well, you leave. You're just there for the freebie handout.
The free gifts.
That's not most people.
My laptop is roaring like a refurbished Sibian. Can you boys hear it? Whir, whir, whir.
Mm-hmm. Dude, Madison started doing that the other night. Now I'm thinking about your laptop.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
At the fan in there?
It thing.
It's overheated?
Yes, that's exactly right, Doug.
It's hot as hell, too. Like,
Do you want to feel the bottom
No.
of my laptop?
No.
Is that from all the hot text?
Yes. They're not angry. They are angry in the text. Let me go back into the Jeff Lotman text him. Oh, my God. Boy, there's a billion more since I was just last in there. Just text him with Matt Ford of Stratum Structural Systems.
Oh,
Like he just
good.
said, I'm down in Jupiter. Any recommendations? And just started rattling off restaurants to him.
What if we charged 1 cent for everybody to text? Every time you text, it costs you 1 cent. They would think that would be not much, but man, we'd make a fortune.
Well, I mean, the counter to that would be then people might not want to text if they're getting charged for it.
For 1 cent a text?
But you'd have to leave a credit
Have you
card
seen?
or something.
Well, you
have
could
you seen
send-
Harrison
you could
Brother
send in
Master?
100
He
texts.
sent like $4 worth of the same text every day.
Yeah, you could send in 100 texts. It cost you $1.
How about this from Harrison's Brother Master, an offer? Hey, Tim, my club is offering this promo through Titleist. Buy 3 dozen Pro V, get 1 dozen free. You want me to get you some left dash? How about that, Doug?
Wow,
Nice gesture.
that's kind of a nice offer.
Yeah, I know. That's from Harrison's Brother Master. That's not his friend.
What's one Pro V1 cost now? About $3, $3 or $4?
Those left dashes, at least they were tough to find, and I think they're $63. So what is that, $5 and change a ball?
Oh, wow.
It's pretty wild to think about it and break it down to balls.
And how much better would that ball be for the average
It
golfer?
actually did help me when I got down to my lowest index because I hit a spinny ball and it doesn't spin much, but it also isn't great in cold weather. So I was hitting like tiny little drives en route to my humble brag 85 this past week. And Doug, I'm losing a lot of money out there. We've got problems. Jackson would have taken a lot of cash from me yesterday. I was thinking about inviting you to play golf yesterday in case you didn't have a spot to go, but then he runs off and looks down on us.
I know.
You notice that?
Country club set, all this Ritz-Carlton afterwards.
Yep.
Dinner.
Yep.
Fillets.
Yep.
He's just at a whole other level.
I don't like
it's
it.
infuriating.
Just different, fellas.
I get it, that.
Different.
Did your lady friend join you for dinner on last night?
Nah, she was working.
Okay.
Yeah, don't worry. My lady friend's also working tonight on my birthday.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. She got an event.
So where are you going to dine?
I may order takeout.
Where are you going to get it from, bro? I mean, it's your birthday. Get what you want.
I know. Man, it's hard because, like, the places I really like, I don't want to take takeout, so I may do Canettos.
Oh,
I have
really?
great
play.
Yeah, I love Canettos. They get very underrated in terms of so many Italian places.
I like that.
And it's great. They have a great takeout service going, so you know your food could be great. It's hard with like places like Russell. I'd rather just eat there. So maybe Gramophone. I don't know. Maybe I feel like a sandwich. Maybe go to Gramophone, have a beer. I'm riding solo, so I don't know what to do.
I bet the takeout movement has really been a boon to restaurants.
And it's also perfected.
It used to be the nicer restaurants. I'm not sure they even did that, but now I think they all do it.
Yeah, Canetto and Bartolino, they all like Bartolino's shocked me that you can do that.
Yeah.
Bartolino South, by the way, great.
I would
great
guess
spot.
they're all related somehow, but the Canettos grew up like 2 doors down from me in Brentwood.
I love that place. You're right by Jackson, am I not correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because at one point, Frank Canetto bought Carl's. when Carl and his wife retired down to Florida, Frank Canetto bought the Carls. I don't think it's the same Canetto that owns Canettos. I think it's the same family. But yeah, Frank bought Carls.
I had a Canetto grew up next to me, too.
You grew up in Brentwood?
Ken Canetto, no, in Crestwood.
Can I give a hot take about Carl's?
Sure, you know any Canettos?
I've been very passionate. I have not. They changed the bread, the bun at Carl's.
Uh-oh.
It's a
You're
problem.
not happy?
Oh, wow.
It's a
We got a
problem.
take. All of a sudden, a take
And
has just arrived.
I consider Carl's a top 3 burger.
When did they make this change? I haven't been in a couple months.
I went a month ago, 3 weeks ago, a month ago. And it's kind of the same workers. It looks like the same process, too. I don't think anything of that had changed. But the bun is too big for the burger that the bread just overpowers the thin smash burger.
That's
a huge problem.
Yeah,
when it's
that is.
like 70% bread, 30% burger, as opposed to like a 50-50, 60-40 burger split.
Ratio.
It's tough.
Now, is that all the time, or maybe they just had maybe the supply line, they had to get different bread for a week or something, and that came in?
You could be 100% correct. I did not ask. I felt it'd be rude to ask, but I don't know.
I would ask. I said, is this going to be a permanent change here because this bun is too big?
Because I want people to know that I love Carl's, and I want that place to thrive and continue to thrive. I love going there. People are great. But I wasn't a fan of the new bun.
That happened to Crystal's in the South. I loved Crystal's. It was similar to a White Castle. And then one year I'm back in Orlando, and I go to Crystal's. They got lettuce, tomato. The bun is about that thick.
Ooh,
thick. Like, I can't even get to the burger. What'd you do to the Crystal burger?
You were hopping mad.
They changed their buns to these big fluffy things.
I got to say, the fries, amazing. The root beer, phenomenal. I have the tamale there, so I'm not dissing Carl's. I just thought the change of bread blew me away because it's just such a traditional place to be. You didn't think any major changes like that would ever happen. I was blown away by it.
I don't know what's going on. It's hit and miss with bread nowadays.
No, that's a hot take.
I mean, you got the myth. I mean,
it's
you better
hit and miss with bread.
Well,
you better duct tape them together.
I've been saying that for a long time. I don't know what's going on, but I'll go to Schnucks. They have a huge selection of breads. It don't matter what I get.
Doesn't matter what I get.
One day later, it's stale already. It's half stale when I buy it.
Oh.
You know, you used to be able to squeeze the bread, the bunny bread. Oh, it's nice and soft. It's hard.
Could it be that they don't put all the preservatives in it that they used to?
I don't know. Maybe it's because it takes them forever to get the bread. By the time they get in, it's already 3 days old. I don't know, but I'm having trouble with stale bread. I don't like it.
What's the deal with bread these days?
And Tate McRae has a great text. This is why I love our listeners. I heard Tyler O'Neill works at Carl's. See, that's what we need. I absolutely love it.
And then scene. You close out the 8 o'clock hour and you get ready for the Schaefer Door Company 9 o'clock hour, which will feature the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day. Can it go 9 out of 10 for Blueberry Pop Pop in the month of March for the Design Air Heating and Cooling email today? Schaefer Door Company 9 o'clock hour on the other side of the break. This is the Morning After presented to you by Brown and Crouppen.
I get asked all the time by people, if I'm in an accident, what should I do? And while yes, you should call the police, exchange insurance information, and take pictures of the scene, all those things are important. But the most important thing you need to do is hire a personal injury lawyer. This is Doug Biggs from Longo Biggs Injury Law. And if you've been hurt by someone else's negligence, don't take on the insurance company yourself. Insurance companies have teams of people and a playbook designed to keep you running in circles so they can pay you as little money as possible for your accident claim. If you don't have a lawyer, they know you can't bring your claim to court, and they will never give you full value. We recently took an offer from an insurance company without a lawyer on the case from $12,000 to $200,000. You can't get that kind of result without an attorney on your case. Even if you don't hire us, you need to hire a personal injury attorney. Check us out online at longobigs.com.
Chow Chow on the Hill is your one-stop shop for all your pet supplies. As soon as you walk through their doors, you and your pet are considered family and treated with superior service and personalized attention. Jessica is the owner and is a certified pet nutritionist and is passionate about educating her clients on the product that will keep your pets happy and healthy. My favorite part about Chow Chow is its connection with All Paws Safe Haven, an organization that helps shelter animals find forever homes. To learn more about Chow Chow, visit CIAOCHOWSTL.com or stop by and tell them Plowsy sent you.
It's the heart of March and everything's green. The bar's as busy as you've ever seen. Everyone's Irish and you are too when you tell them more do. When the dry cleaner's lost your only green shirt and getting pinched by your friends is starting to hurt. At this point, there's nothing else you can do except
Tullamore, Tullamore, Tullamore Dew.
It's St. Patrick's Day, so what do? You
Tullamore, Tullamore, Tullamore Dew. Hey!
Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, imported by William Grant & Sons, Inc.
Biggie's Restaurant and Bar has been a staple of the community for over 30 years and is serving your favorites like the steak sandwich, waffle fries, and so much more. It's not just the food that's rocking. With a full bar and patio, Biggie's is the perfect spot for lunch, dinner, and a little laughter. Biggie's original hours are back. Open 11 a.m. till midnight, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And 11 a.m. till 1 a.m. on Friday and Saturday. Check out the full menu at biggiesrestaurant.com and stop in today.
When we think of a real estate agent, we think of somebody simply selling our home or finding us a new one. I mean, they're all the same, right?
Okay, here's the comps. We'll take some pics, we'll post them, and I'll get back to you, okay?
A home is life-changing, and your real estate agent should reflect that. Honesty, integrity, and someone who will go above and beyond to make your dreams come true.
The Jeff Lutman Group with Compass Realty. We're different because you're different. We want what you want. Experience the difference today at jefflutman.com, bringing people and properties together.
Temperatures are finally warming up here in St. Louis, and while that means more fun in the sun, it could also spell disaster for your lawn. Rain equals spring weeds, and now is the best time to get ahead of it. Green Envy has been here in St. Louis for more than a decade, servicing and treating lawns just like they would their very own. Crabgrass can lay dormant for years until the conditions are right, and the massive amounts of moisture we've had is sure to wake up even the oldest crabgrass seeds. Green Envy only uses products that have been formulated for Missouri soil, weather conditions, and turf types, not national generic products that are insufficient and ineffective. Let the experts at Green Envy help you choose the best treatment program for your lawn this season. Phone lines are open 12 hours a day, Monday through Friday, and Saturday 9 to 1 to take your calls and answer questions. Call Green Envy today at 636-757-1600 or visit greenenvylawns.com and make your lawn the envy of the neighborhood.
John, I'm so tired of this kitchen. We haven't updated anything since we moved in. The stove looks like it's from the 90s, and the rest is... Are you even listening to me?
Did you say something, honey? Yeah, no, kitchen's fine. We have cabinets. There's food in the cabinets. We're good.
Oh my God. Guys, if this sounds a little familiar, trust me, your wife is probably right. It's time for a remodel. Collier & Thompson is the company to trust. Not just for kitchens and bathrooms, but for any interior remodeling job. Need a new man cave? Collier & Thompson. Office? Collier & Thompson. Bar? You got it. Collier & Thompson. They even do wine rooms and fireplace walls. Collier & Thompson is your go-to source for every design consideration. They carry the best cabinets, appliances, and countertops in the business. And better yet, it's all under one roof. No need to drive around to 5 to 10 different businesses for one job. At Collier & Thompson, they do it all. Their showroom is on Manchester Road in Baldwin, right next to Uncle Bill's Pancake House. Let Collier & Thompson bring your dream remodel to reality and come home to quality. Online at collierandthompson.com.
Yeah, that plowboy's an interesting dude, but he loves animals, and he wants to help adoptable dogs find homes. With TMA listeners, catch Plowsy live on the TMA socials each week, highlighting a dog up for adoption from Open Door Animal Sanctuary in House Springs, St. Charles County Pet Adoption Center, and All Paws Safe Haven. Plowsy's Pup of the Week, brought to you by Chow Chow on the Hill. Everything you need to keep your pet's tail wagging. Find out more at TMASTL.com.
Here's Action Jackson with 3 more ways to get TMA content.
Watch TMA on YouTube. Click the bell to subscribe. Download the podcast. Find it at TMASTL.com or wherever you podcast. And check us out on TikTok at TMASTL.
Thanks, Jackson. It's the Brown and Crouppen Morning After on 105.7 FM HD2.
Urban Dictionary defines thirsty as purposely, knowingly, and recklessly attempting to gain fame to boost self-esteem. So, are you thirsty? Well, TMA has you covered. Become a part of the TMA Listener of the Month Club. You nominate yourself for a monthly award. And if you win, you get recognition and stuff to help you satisfy that insatiable thirst. We're talking January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, etc. Go to TMASTL.com or the TMA app. Give us your name, a photo, and other pertinent information. Tell us why you deserve to be TMA Listener of the Month. And if you don't want to use your real name or photo, we don't really care. The TMA Listener of the Month. Get recognized just for being you or fake you or whatever. Quenched by Milagro Tequila. Welcome to the brighter side of tequila with Milagro in the morning after on KPNT HD2. Live from the Michelob Ultra Studios, KPN-TFM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. This is TMA All Day.
105.7 HD2. It's the Brown and Crouppen Morning After.
We're bringing the World Series back. Yeah. Those Cardinal players just know how to act. Yeah. They'll kill those Tigers with the swing of the bat. Yeah. Cause those Red Birds just know where it's at. Yeah.
Bill.
Bring it to the loop.
Bring it.
Baseball fans, you see these Cardinals are the best in the land. They gonna whip ya if you misbehave. Cause they know to wash their hands before they play. Take it to St. Louis. Home run Pujols, World Series, baby. Strikeout Carp, World Series, baby. Home run Yachty, World Series, baby. Strikeout Soup, World Series, baby. Home run Duncan, World Series, baby. Strikeout Weed, World Series, baby. Home run Roland, World Series, baby. Get your sexy on, World Series, baby.
I think it took him 2 or 3 minutes to write the lyrics to this.
If any more, it's embarrassing.
Welcome back to the Morning After. This program is presented to you by Brown and Crouppen. It's our Schaefer Door Company, 9 o'clock hour. I'm standing because I really got to use the little wizards. You're going to be able to hear my brine spray on the other side of the wall. It's going to be such a good stream, but I got to go, and I couldn't get in there during the break, and now I'm going to go. Jackson's going to tell you about Mark Hanna, and then the Plowhawk, you can play audio of.
Yeah, we can do whatever you want. We have Rafter.
Bill Rafferty clips. Villanova, baby.
Villanova, Doug.
Well, go ahead, Tim. I'm going to talk to the folks about Mark Hanna of Evergreen Wealth Strategies. Mark Hanna sent me such a lovely text yesterday. He made a little video for me for my birthday. Just a quick one, just to wish me a happy birthday. You know, a text is even like, you get a text on your birthday. You're like, oh, that's so sweet of somebody to think of you on your birthday. Mark Hanna takes a video while he's out of town and sends it to me because he couldn't be here yesterday for Jeremy Rutherford's segment. But he was kind enough to send me an incredible little video wishing me a happy birthday. And that just goes to show you that this guy, he goes the extra mile for his clients. That's just a very surface level example there. But what he really does is he learns about each individual client so he knows you on a personal basis. And then when he builds that custom plan for you, he knows more about you. He knows where your goals are, where you want to be in life, and he can help you build out a custom plan. And then if it comes to a point where there's a variable in life that you need to tackle head on, you can get on the phone with Mark Hanna. He can help adjust your plan so it works better based on that variable. And to me, that's worth everything. It's so important to have someone like that in your corner. That's why I love working with Mark Hanna, and that's why you'll love working with Mark Hanna as well. You can call him at 314-889-0503 or online, evergreenstl.com.
I just envision him sitting somewhere, Indian style with a blanket over his shoulders, dispensing wisdom to you and you hanging on every word that he's got to say.
What did Joe do? Did he levitate above the desk?
He did when he was talking World Cup soccer. Sure he did.
When Mark Hanna gets real deep into financial conversations, he starts to levitate.
Oh, does he really?
Yeah. Yep. He starts to levitate.
That's how you know it's working.
And you're like, I can't stop staring at the beard, the unbelievable hair on his head. Yeah. He's got so much financial wisdom, but this man's levitating in front of me. But it's all like it all plays into it. It's all like, I guess it makes sense. He's a life Sherpa.
I don't know if I mentioned this the other day, Jackson, but when I did my Social Security and I got the phone call, Mark had set that up for March 5th, and they called right at 11:30. Said it would, and the guy was tremendous, asking me all these questions, and got done. I said, no, I talked to a financial advisor, told me I should take anywhere from 10 to 20% out for taxes. And he said, you can do that. You can go 7, 10, 12, or 22. I said, let's go 10. But then I found out there was no taxes.
Yeah.
But that was Missouri. There is income. There is federal. So I called Mark. He goes, yeah, that is federal. He says, sure, so you're good at 10%. That should take care of you. If you're getting a little money back working at Hubbard, this should take care of that, so you're not going to owe any money, so 10% is perfect. Because I was ready to call him and say, take that 10% off. Don't take any taxes out because I'm not getting taxed anyway. If I wouldn't have called Mark, I would have done that. He said, no, that's federal. You need to stay.
You'd have been hit with a big tax bill.
I would have. So, again, Mark helped me out. Thank you, Mark.
Saved you from the godforsaken tax man.
Yeah. I knew none of that. I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
He helped me through it.
Well, we all need help. We all need help.
Well, he's online at evergreenstl.com. Send your emails in. Design, air, heating, and cooling email that comes your way in about 20-25 minutes. The morning after at InsideSTL.com. And then Jackson and I will go down the hallway. Doug, you joined us yesterday. Your first ever balloon party. tell the audience what the experience was like.
It was interesting being on like a real radio station where you do like 10 or 12 minutes and then you take what they're calling there is a commercial break. It's like the show just flies by. What do we have, 3 or 4 breaks in an hour?
Let's see. 10:12 I'm supposed to hit and don't. 10:24 I'm supposed to hit and don't. 10:36 I'm supposed to hit and don't. And no, probably not on that.
It's 10:12, 10:26, 10:42, and 10:56.
There you go.
Oh, it's a lot of breaks.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you have those weather and update breaks you got to take?
Doug did traffic.
I did a little traffic.
Oh.
Jackson did a sports update.
He did. He mentioned the Celtics. But that one I thought you could justify.
Yeah, 100%. I can justify every single one because I can talk about whatever the hell I want.
Okay, don't get feisty.
It's a Sports Center update. I'm updating people about sports. If they don't like it, they can,
What can they do?
Well, find out more on Balloon Party.
Just an observation from yesterday. If Doug was looking to get more exposure by being on Balloon Party, it worked. Doug fit right in and was a delight on the show. It's from Scott Sprinkle Ballsack, but not his wife.
No, his wife wasn't listening.
His wife.
No, she doesn't seem to listen much.
People enjoyed it. I heard some good feedback.
Well, it's a wonderful presentation.
Well, that's because you got to experience the Little Piddles Wide Berth Wednesday.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'm not sure.
I asked
and the gentle handshake that was 5 questions in one.
I asked who will be the starting center outfield for the Cardinals in 2024, and Doug kept mentioning guys who will be in sweatshirts in the dugout till Flag Day.
No, they won't be. They won't be.
He was like, well, Lars Nootbaar.
I said Nootbaar, Scott, and Walker.
Nootbaar ain't playing.
Good luck with that.
I don't know.
That's your opening day lineup? Was it an opening day outfield?
Yes.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'd like to see.
I think Nootbaar will be ready.
I think he might be. I don't know. I'm not the doctor, but that's what
you're
I'd
on
like.
Balloon Party. You're supposed
That's
to give
what I'd like to see. I don't have the latest medical information on his ribs.
You're supposed to know that if you're on Balloon Party. Here, nobody cares, but over there, it's sports. You need to know.
I just think in spring training, sometimes they're really cautious. They're not going to push anybody, and guys sometimes aren't hurt as bad as you fear they might be.
I would have listened. I forgot you were on there. I got Sirius again, Sirius XM again, so I was listening to Rachel Steele.
What'd she have to say?
I love her. She is just so good at what she does.
What is she talking about?
Just her voice, the way she throws to a song or talks about a song.
What is she talking about?
Classic rock.
Okay.
It's a vintage. It's
Follows looking for.
I mean, it's so hard.
It's classic vinyl. Classic vinyl is the channel. But she's very good at what she does. I think Tim likes her too.
I really get irritated, honestly, when I'm listening to Sirius, and I'm sure they have their business reasons for it. It's not an industry, that portion of the industry of satellite radio that I'm familiar with, why they need to, I'll be listening to like the 80s thing, child of the 80s, and it's just like they play these little cutesy drops in the middle of it, like, it's all here, 80s. So I'm like, I don't get why you got to do that, but I'm sure they have their reasons. It's not like, it's a multi-billion-dollar corporation. I'm sure they have their reasons for why. I just don't know why, because it's not like they got people meters and they got to worry about recognition. But I'm sure they have their reasons. Anyway, I just want to hear music. That's what I'm trying to get to.
Yeah.
And when I'm flipping through, her voice actually stood out to me, and I thought, oh, she's really good. That's all.
She doesn't try to be funny. She just kind of, welcome to Classic Vinyl, Rachel Steele in Cleveland.
Now, that's a nice voice right there. Why don't you use that all the time on this show?
Welcome, Rachel Steele. Welcome to Cleveland.
Guys, I'm putting my whole stack on Rachel Steele being attractive. That's from Wedding Tackle, who just put his whole stack in the middle. Jackson lost his whole stack earlier this week. Now Wedding Tackle could lose his whole stack.
Yeah, I would say she's attractive.
There it is.
Of course, yeah. So you think you have a shot.
Wedding Tackle, you doubled up.
If you compliment her here, you think you might have a shot somewhere down the road?
No, even if she wasn't attractive, I just like her voice. I like the way she... I like the way she just introduces music and gives little tidbits every once in a while. If a band's going on tour, she'll say, and there's the Rolling Stones. Guess what? They're back on tour. They're going out doing their stadium tour. They're going to get to Cleveland. Welcome.
When you hear... I could see how you could be intoxicated by that. When you hear somebody's voice on the radio and you don't know what they look like, and then you do see them for the first time, does the face usually line up with the voice? Is it about usually what you expect?
Usually not.
I think I'm with Iggy. Most of the times you're not expecting the person. Guy or girl, I think.
Yeah.
Talent comes in all shapes and sizes.
Well, it sure does.
You know who I thought that about? And this is not a shot in any way. I love the guy. But when I first met or saw a picture of Gangster Pete, I was like, I wouldn't picture he looked like that based on his voice.
Is that because of the hat thing?
I don't know. I like the way he wears his hat. That's like a popular way to wear a hat.
What did you think he was going to look like?
I don't know.
Probably a guy that wasn't beat down by AM radio in the first 6 weeks of his career. He probably aged 8 years in that year and a half, 2 years.
The widest delta of enthusiasm entering a position and then disappointment exiting it. Gangster Pete.
Right, probably so.
Love the guy.
Beat
But he was
pulp
I
by the
mean,
business.
He was
absolutely Mike Tyson.
He was during the Western Front portion of this show's existence.
On the front line.
We were just rushing the machine gun nests, and most of us not returning.
We have no cover. The guy to your left, the guy in your foxhole is not there. Just you.
Yeah, I remember during the pandemic when they were telling people, okay, you're going to work from home, and the three that came in were the board op, me and Pete. I was back there with him every day and just talk to him and his stomach. F this place.
Oh.
Yeah, really taking care of us during the pandemic. There's no toilet paper. There's no paper towels back there.
When the dog bowl entered the bathroom, I think that's when it actually turned.
Final straw.
I think right when we started having dogs.
Dog bowl.
That was wild.
I can remember this, and it's not. I'm not taking a shot at him. I just thought it was funny. And, it's had to do with me, so that's why it pertains to this. But, but when the pandemic
goes with everything.
When the pandemic hit and everybody was staying at home and, 6 feet away and social distancing everyone, and you're going to stay home. And Hadley called us down to the office, and we met outside the office. And he goes, we're going to have to do something here because this is bad, and, it's affecting people like Doug and Iggy the most. You guys are old. It's killing people. So, Doug, you stay home. Iggy, I'm going to need you to come in.
You were deemed as expendable.
Yeah. Why did you bring me up? You said it's killing old people. Iggy, you come in.
You're like just that bait.
Okay. Well.
I love Gangster Pete because he had so many great ideas coming in, and then he was so shocked. I think it was like that shock and awe of the behind the scenes of what happens, and so disappointed.
Well, producer Joe was pretty much gung-ho there for a while too, wasn't he? And he got beaten down.
I think the listener beat him down, though.
No. The listeners weren't nearly as banty as they are now.
I know he had management issues with the T-shirts and the F off with
that happened in 2006. He stuck around till 2013, but he didn't leave because of the Marshall thing. He was leaving before then.
Who brought him back? Because didn't he get fired for the T-shirt thing?
He did.
Yeah.
And so then we went to 1380 when Doug joined the show, and then got the cat back. His cat got fired too. Got in the bathroom.
True. Yeah, that's right.
And producer Joe. Yeah.
I wish
John Helmkamp, Iggy, great guy.
I love John Helmkamp.
Wish I would have walked out with an ensuite. The one thing I really regret.
That's bathroom.
Double vanities. You got a walk-in shower. That's what I need.
Well, there were some people that got checks for no reason at all.
That's what I always wanted, a check for no reason at all.
One guy got a check for quitting.
Like I said, I love Pete, and that era was. It's hard to say fun, but it was definitely carefree. And I know not for Tim. I'm answering for myself personally, not for Tim, who had to deal with.
You got fired though. I mean,
a couple of times, yeah. But that honestly, I take that over like some of the emails and calls that you probably get. I kind of liked the position I was at and where I was at, kind of peering in and man.
Well, at least you were told you were fired. I never got told I was fired until Tim called me and said, "Yeah, you were fired, but I got your back." I didn't even know I was fired. Yeah, he called me and said, "I'm firing Iggy," and I said, "You can't do that." Okay, I won't.
Typical business practice. You see every business doing that.
Plowhawk, one of my favorite things about you is that, like, with the Cardinal outfield, you'll get all banty and starting pitching, you get out of shape. But, like, things like getting fired or getting your car stolen.
It was kind of fun.
You're super...
Yeah, that is a nice observation.
You're super cavalier about it.
Any way to psychoanalyze that for me, Plowhawk?
That's a tough one. Because now I'm looking at it from the outside now that he brings it up, but it is... weird. I did
Zach
literally.
Edey gets you all bent out of shape.
Oh, Zach Edey
losing your job. It's like,
I'll watch every Purdue tournament game, but nonetheless, yeah, I think with the car thing, I did sound like the best thing that's ever happened to me. And I'm thinking back, I'm like, man, that was really profound statement. But that's a good observation. I did not think about that. I do get banty at the little things, and I try to brush off the the big thing.
Maybe it's a
I love
coping
it,
mechanism.
Could be.
Things are out of my control with the car. I got things out of my control with the Cardinal too, but it's kind of fun to get angry sometimes.
Oh, definitely. You need an outlet.
Zach Eating definitely that outlet for me.
Well, there have been other people who showed up bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and left disillusioned, such as Evil David Letterman.
Evil David Letterman.
And the guy who used to pee on the floor instead of in the toilet proper.
Yep, that guy.
These people came in with high hopes of carving out a wonderful career.
You know, I bring up the one guy that I don't know if you guys remember because he wasn't an on-air talent. It was when we had that stream of interns, you know, that Seymour had that internship thing going. And this guy he was so bored and so uninterested. He was doing like
Is that Donnie Most?
No, that guy's a legend. He was disinterested so much that like I loved and respected him for it. This guy would just do push-ups, like by me and Seymour. And I know Seymour's listening; he can confirm. This dude would just get bored. He wouldn't try to learn the board or anything. He just was there for a
just
credit.
do push-up. What station was this?
We were at 920.
So was this in the Central West End thing?
Yes, we were in the booth.
There wasn't a lot of room for a guy to be doing push-ups.
No, it's like
maybe that was part of his CrossFit program.
It was insane, dude. And like I know Seymour remembers vividly.
So this was Sea Monster time.
Yeah. We were right.
And there was a guy back there doing push-ups?
It was right after.
I didn't know this was going on, I don't think.
Yeah.
I've just forgotten
It was
about
right. It was during P-Gate. Because I think me and Seymour thought, man, if this dude's doing push-ups randomly during like a program, you know, everything's on the table at that point.
Sure it is.
Peeing in the grate doesn't seem like that big of a surprise as a dude putting like a 20 set down during like a hot take.
Oh, the guy who pissed in the grate was the guy who did the push-ups?
We thought it was. I don't know if it was or not, but did we figure out who it was?
I am pretty confident I know who it was.
Okay. Because if he was an intern, that's the dude, Nick, because that's the dude that did push-ups right next to me and Seymour.
But the way Bert approached me about it was either Doug or the cat.
I would be blown away if those are the two options.
I mean, he wasn't saying, he goes, one of the guys you work with has a problem with urinating in our toilets.
And it really was a problem.
And it's just like every week there's something. Listen, it wasn't like it's a legitimate concern. He's not like he's bringing me something that's just like gossipy. You know, he's paying rent and he has a responsibility to the landlord. And if, the landlord comes in and there's puddles of urine.
Remember those bathrooms, though? Those are the tiniest, like, those felt like airport.
Yeah,
like
those were airport.
Airplane bathrooms. You're just kind of doing a full turn with your shoulders.
Right.
Guys, didn't Prod Joe do push-ups during breaks at one time? It's from Beer Cats, and that is correct. He did. He used to come into the studio during breaks and just bust out push-ups.
Right.
Him and the non-ling. I don't know if the non-ling was doing push-ups, if they would come in during breaks.
Yeah, dig me.
Oh,
well, he was just trying to stay in shape.
Well, can he do it back in his own studio?
I don't think there was room.
There's more room back there with only one person than...
I don't know.
I also remember when the AC, again, we're going to do an old school, we have time. Like, remember in Hampton when the AC was out for about a week and a half and we had fans dedicated to exact location because that, like, wind cycle, you felt it.
Cool
you
down
had
the
signs
equipment.
on the fan that said, do not move this fan. That was great.
Right.
Doug,
we've seen it all.
We have.
That was one of the times where it actually was broken. There were times you come in and the lights are out and say, power failure. Well, across the street next door.
That's still
Why
my
don't you pay
favorite.
your bill?
Sunny in 85. Every business is booming and bustling with electricity. And they come in and goes, yeah, the power is out, I guess.
Well, we'd run into hard times.
No, we didn't.
We just sit in the studio in the dark. The boards are dead. We're just waiting for somebody to pay the bill. Oh, my God. I love radio, man.
I just took a peek at the Little Piddles Tough Question Thursday, Doug. That's what's coming up on Blue Pretty.
Tough Question Thursday?
TQT.
I saw the email pop up, and the first thing I see is great spacing last night, skate boy skate.
That's the question?
I don't even know what to make
Come
of
on,
it.
Jackson.
No.
Talk about mailing it in.
For every Blues game, I do like a Little Piddles hockey observation, kind of from a novice point of view.
You were at Tucker's last night, you fraud.
Oh, yeah, I didn't watch any of it.
Hey, come on!
But they post these extensive highlights, and I watched that. You basically get like almost not every shot, but you get a lot of the game action without some of the pomp and the circumstance.
Yeah, if you watch the Yahoo one, it's like 25 minutes long. There's another one that just gives you the goals. But there's another one that gives a lot of the action.
Yeah, so I looked at that, and so I got a decent idea what happened, and I put out some observations.
Which was great spacing, skate boy skate.
Yeah, and that Brandon Saad goal.
I will
that
not
was
watch the Blues game over the Lakers and Warriors.
Gosh, this guy.
Still wouldn't. But that Brandon Saad goal, that was direct result of spacing.
Spacing. Rather than passing in the shooting?
No, but like bunching in. That was mostly on the power play, though. Like, let's get wide.
So you think just that question, spacing, skate boy skate, will create a lot of discussion topics?
Nope. Wasn't a question, just an observation.
Yeah, they were skating.
All right.
Yeah, skate boy skate.
Let's see. Prod Joe did push-ups in the studio right before Timberfake beat him like a drum. That's from Taint McRae.
Oh, he didn't beat him like a drum. Very even match.
Doug, one more round and Joe knocks him out.
I think so, yeah.
But, the first 30 seconds of that bout, I go, oh, God. That which I thought was impossible is clearly possible here tonight in Sauget.
Yeah.
There's one thing I regret not being a part of the show was crossing the railroad tracks to a strip club or whatever it was, watching that fight.
Yep.
I saw the second one, and that pub and hype, that was a lot of fun. And the event was a lot of fun.
En route to Plowhawk to the City Museum a couple days ago, we drove by the South Broadway Athletic Club from Blue City Deli, and I drove by it and I thought to myself, that night, Doug, electricity in the building.
Sure was.
Every time I drive by it as well, like I just remember how packed it was.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody, the anticipation.
Jackson's
in that room.
parents were there, right, Jackson?
I believe so. They were definitely at the Ryan Kelly versus Timberfake.
Yeah, that's the one with South Broadway.
Okay, then yes, 100% they were there.
And then Tim did a post-game wrap-up fight interview with Cucky, who was at the station doing his.
And what was the name of the show? Changing
program.
Station?
Changing Station, yeah.
and that show was canceled because it needed to talk more sports.
At 11 to midnight on a Friday. Not every night, just
At
one
11
day.
at midnight.
That's when people are tuning in for hot sports talk.
That show was scolded by management for not talking. It was called the Changing Station.
Me, Cucky, we had this Hamilton guy. It was so, like, obviously we didn't know anything about.
Didn't you guys like eat bananas on the air?
Yeah, with no video. Who can eat the biggest bite of banana?
That night when I had to crawl across a railroad track through an empty boxcar that had been sitting there for 30 years into a strip club to watch a boxing match. Some people were so embarrassed they had paper bags on their head. That's when I realized my career is not on an upward trajectory. I'm not where I need to be.
Man,
And yet it was a fascinating night nonetheless.
Iggy and Larry Nickel were wearing the yellow sports coat.
Yeah.
They did fantastic pre-fight. I know J-Boy did pre-fight videos with both opponents.
That
and
was
those
outstanding.
were phenomenal. Those were well done.
It was outstanding.
They're fun to do.
Yeah, that would
Iggy had Joe winning. He was not happy with the judges.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I was seeing what I was seeing. And I don't know. Everybody said, you're so off. You lost 3 of those rounds. I don't know. I had him winning 3 of them.
Who were the judges?
I don't know. 3 guys in the. I don't know who they were. They weren't.
Were they in the boxing business?
I think they were real judges in the boxing
They
business.
They were. They actually were.
Well, it was a sanctioned fight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it had to be.
Right.
Well, you had to. I mean, they had physicals and everything. I don't know what has happened here. I'm confused.
Well, you're on your phone?
Well, I'm looking at.
Are you talking to Mike? I can
And
barely hear
topic
you.
change.
Well, I've got Eric Van Rooyen, who is 4 under through 5 holes.
This is not what we're talking about. Stay on topic.
But I'm going to ask Tim if he's ever seen
I'm
this
going
before.
down memory lane.
I'm looking at the play-by-play. Shot 1, 295 yards to the left fairway, 165 yards to the hole. Okay. Second shot, 43 feet to the fairway, 170 yards to the hole. He hit a ball 12 feet.
Maybe he was behind a tree or something, and he just...
No, it says he's in the fairway. 295 to the left fairway, 165
Ranch
to the
overhang?
holes.
I don't know.
He hit a ball 10 feet. Did he top it?
I don't
Doug, did he
know.
top
I'm
it?
not
People have
watching.
been wanting this for a while on the.
Well, I got a guy in second place. I don't know what happened there. I've never seen a pro golfer hit a ball 10 feet. I've seen guys shank it.
Well, unless they were just pitching it to get out
like
from
the two
under a
different-
tree or something.
Even then, you go under the tree.
If you can.
I don't know if you're in the...
Well, something clearly happened. It's not likely that he almost swung and missed.
No, I saw his drive. There's a video of his drive. He's in the
Doug,
middle.
how's his
He's in the
drive look?
middle.
How's his
He's in the
swing?
middle of the
How's his
fairway.
No,
tread?
I've been doing a radio show. I haven't been able to watch
He's in the
this.
middle of the fairway. They don't show the second shot. He must have just topped one. Anyway, I was just curious. The guy's 4 under, and he's in
Yeah, but
second
that's not
place.
what we were talking about.
Well, I was telling you why I was preoccupied. I was looking at this play-by-play while I was talking. Happens a few times when I'm talking.
Okay. It's the end of that lively discussion.
What about the Illinois Recovery Center? You can transform your story at Illinois Recovery Center. Illinois Recovery Center, the team believes in the strength of every individual's journey to recovery. Whether you're taking the first step or continuing your path, the IRC's dedicated team is here to support you. Why choose Illinois Recovery Center? Holistic healing approach, expert care and guidance, safe and welcoming environment, tailored programs for lasting recovery with top-notch facility and accommodations. The IRC builds the unwavering determination to thrive beyond the shadows of the past. Whether you've made the life-saving choice to seek help on your own or you want to be prepared for the other end of an addiction intervention with a loved one, the chance to learn about addiction recovery is available to you at the Illinois Recovery Center in Swansea. If you or someone you know wants more information about the Illinois Recovery Center, please call 888-472-9559 or visit IllinoisRecoveryCenter.com. And you should probably think about it. We'll have the Design, Air, Heating, and Cooling email today coming up here in a matter of moments. Blueberry Pop Pop has won 8 out of 9 so far in the month of March. And we will also head down the hallway for this Tough Question Thursday.
Yeah, that's right. TQT.
TQT, Doug.
Yeah, the preview we got sounds like the questions are almost unanswerable.
See, this is the thing.
Spacing, skate boy skate.
What did it used to be called on Thursday?
Thursday Thoroughfare, I think, Iggy.
I switch it up. I don't like to box myself in, you know. I got big ideas and a big heart. But, Doug, you were present yesterday when I was just giving out hot question after hot question.
Mm-hmm.
Still, you say these slanderous things. It's just...
Well, I answered the first question yesterday, and you kept telling me wrong. You were asking my opinion.
I was asking who you think, and you kept mentioning guys who were hurt.
Well, barely. I don't. It's not like they got broken legs and they're going to miss the whole year.
Yeah, you did say Donovan. I think they're going to try him out in outfield for the first time.
Did you say O'Neill? Because if you didn't,
I didn't say O'Neill. He's not on the club.
I think we all came to the consensus, though, that we'd like to see Victor Scott in center.
Mm-hmm.
I really would.
Yeah, absolutely.
Me too. Every now and then, somebody makes such a statement in the spring that they just can't turn their back on him. Pujols certainly did that. Not to say that this is going to be the next Albert Pujols. We may never see another Albert Pujols. But sometimes it happens where a guy is just so good and so ready that they can't deny him a spot.
Yeah, if you want to offset the older pitching staff, you do that with Jordan Walker, Mason Wynn, and Victor Scott in the field. That's really dynamic young core.
Yeah. I think Gorman could be tossed in there, maybe?
100%.
It is amazing how the rest of their lineup is so young compared to their pitching staff.
Not the corner of the infield, though.
Yeah.
Or the catcher.
They still got some age. But they do have some promising youth.
Somebody just moaned in the hallway, and I like
Man,
that.
there is something going on.
Moaning.
Oh, it's not fully closed.
Did you guys hear the tornado sirens that were going off in the first
Yeah,
game?
it literally sounded like we were in a tornado there at one point when it was pouring down rain.
Yeah, I could hear like there's like a little hole in my roof here.
I think I saw a tornado warning come up on my phone.
I could hear the wind.
But now it's not raining. I was
sun's coming out now.
Weird.
Doug, you going to ball strike again?
Probably not today. Maybe practice for an hour or so.
Look at you.
Trying to get the short game.
Where you got there, Tower?
Because I could easily.
Family Golf Center?
I go to both of those, and also
I'll be at Family Golf today.
Sunset Hills has a driving range. It's real close to my house.
I was just going to the backyard.
Convenient. But then
you must have some acreage.
You chew up your grass.
Well, he owns it.
What do I care? There's nothing but moles in that backyard anyway. It's like the
Men in love.
Cahokia Mounds back there.
Well, that's a common area, right? Common ground.
Yeah.
Well, my backyard's not common ground. I don't want to chew up all the grass.
Well, when it warms up, then I'll go to Family Golf. But if it's still a little 60-ish, just chip in the backyard for a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I need to do. Because I could easily cut 7 or 8 strokes off my game if I could just, heaven forbid, get up and down one time.
That's it.
Or 2 putt.
I think Cletus has something for your little ones, Tim. I gave it to Cletus. He hasn't opened it yet. It's in a big box, and what it is, it's a driving mat.
Driving mat.
A couple of driving mats, and it's got a couple of nets.
Oh, is that right?
Balls.
Oh, God bless.
And he said, I said, have you opened that up yet? Because I don't know what it looks like. And he goes, I think I'm just going to give it to Tim for his 2. They like to hit balls. It might be good. I said, yeah.
That's a very kind gesture. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. It's something else. Yeah. My 2-year-old was demanding that we go to the golf course.
Actually wanted a gobble ball.
Yes.
Actually wanted a gobble ball.
And I can't talk to him. He just turned 2. So
why don't you make a little hole in the backyard for him?
Maybe I will now that Cletus is sending over a driving mat or net or something like
there's
that.
A couple of nets in there. It's from the, I buy $100 worth of raffle tickets at Gobble Bowl every year. I really don't care if I win or not. Just,
No, of course not.
But I did win this, and I think the what's the guy's name with the fast golf cart?
Mr. 63011.
I think 63011 donated this for Gobble Bowl, and I won it. And I haven't opened it yet, but I think I know what it is. He told me. So I just gave it to Cletus. I said, as much as Guy likes to practice in the winter here. So he said, I'm just going to give it to Tim for his kids. I said, you do that too? That's fine.
There is no way Iggy chipping in the common area is not a problem. That's from Taint McRae.
Why is it a problem?
Taint McRae, call in 636-900-4TMA, Collier and Thompson phone lines. Or leave a mic drop and we'll play it on Balloon Party.
There's nobody out there. So I'm
How far are you chipping? Just
maybe 20 yards.
Okay.
I don't skull them with a 60-degree wind.
You're not trying to hit wedges over the top of the apartment complex.
Ooh, flop shot season.
No, I don't. I take about 15 balls, and then I go put my shag bag out about 20 yards away, and I just try to chip as close to the shag bag as possible.
Doug, we have beautiful women who listen to this show, and Jen Phone is one of them, and she says everyone on the show has the worst ADHD.
I think that's
Hard
what
to
makes a
argue with
good
that.
radio show, though, too.
And that's what Don Peepee says. It's part of the charm.
I literally just said Tyler O'Neill was still on this club. Like, could you get any less informed than what I am?
Well, ADHD is not just not informed. It just means your brain is all over the place.
Oh,
and you
I know
can't
what
keep a thought.
ADHD is. I have it. I get it.
You think you do?
Oh, yeah, ADD, too. Never...
Jackson says he does. That's why he's here till 5 o'clock.
That's right.
Well, why would that mean you're here till 5 o'clock?
Can't focus.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it sounds like you're really focused if you're working all day.
A lot of downtime.
Doesn't it, Jackson, a task that can take 20 minutes usually takes an hour? That's kind of how sometimes it did for me. So you look at your phone, there's an email, and...
But, even when I'm, doing the stuff before the show, cutting audio, getting links and stuff, I'll think of something, I'll do it, and I'll never come back to the thing I was doing because I completely forgot about it until, the last second. I got to go back to it. It really scrambles up the brain. But, we're making moves.
Some of that just goes with being busy.
Sure.
I'm not sure there's necessarily a syndrome or a medical diagnosis for it.
Yeah, but, that is ADD and ADHD.
I'm like that at night. I can never fall asleep right away. I always got things going through my brain while I'm trying to sleep. And I don't know, I can't just shut my brain off and just, time for sleep.
See, that's the difference. I'm ADD, ADHD, my mind going, but when I hit the bed, I shut my brain. I can shut it off.
That's clutch.
Anything that goes onto my head, I'm done. I know I'm going to worry about it tomorrow morning, but bed is my safe place. And at least can thank myself that I can do that.
Do you ever have dreams that bother you for the entire day?
I don't dream, I don't think, or at least don't remember them.
They say everybody dreams. It's just
I know,
a matter
I
of
don't
you
remember.
remember it or not.
Yeah, I had a dream probably 3 nights ago. And I just had a dream that my brother was kept taking my brother Skip kept taking my picture with his phone. I said, will you stop taking my picture? And he kept taking it. And I said, quit it. And I just beat the hell out of him.
Oh, did you beat him up?
I just kept smashing his face. And I woke up, and that whole day, it bothered me to the point where that afternoon I just texted my brother. I said, I know it's just a dream, and I probably sound stupid, but I had a dream that I just beat the hell out of you, and it's bothered me all day. I just want to let you know I love you. He goes, I love you too, but you couldn't beat me up since 7th grade.
Yeah. Do you think that comes from all the paparazzi that follows you around to restaurants?
I just don't know what it was, but it really did. I know it's just a dream, but it bothered me all day.
One more glossy to be signed.
It kept popping up in my head that I just beat the crap out of my brother, and it bothered me all day.
Some breaking Cardinal news from John Denton, friend of the show. Tommy Edman will start the season on the IL. He has been shut down again. Bill Plowhawk is nodding.
I saw the tweet, too.
All right.
Yeah,
I
saw the tweet
because
as well.
of lingering pain in his surgically repaired wrist. He will be a minimum of a week with no hitting. He can still do some defensive stuff, and he can throw, but the hitting is what caused some of the pain. We're going to allow that to completely go away. So Tommy Edman dug IL to start the season. That is now for sure. With regard to Nootbaar, he feels better every day. He still feels the ribs a little bit, but he's progressing. He was able to do some rotational stuff on Wednesday, and we'll see what the next 4 to 5 days look like. When he's able to resume swings and start doing that, we'll have a much better timeline. The pain is tolerated, so it's hard to say when he will return. And then when asked about Victor Scott, he said Victor's had a really good camp. He's shown well on the field, and he's putting together some really good at-bats. Obviously, he's exciting on the bases, and he's played really good defense. He's asking the right questions. He's handled himself well off the field. And as far as the clubhouse, he's engaging. It's been exciting to watch him. We're going to continue to watch him.
So that,
That being said, we'll see him in Memphis. It sounds like that's where they're getting at. But the Edmund thing was obvious, right? Didn't everyone think that he wasn't going to be game ready for the start of the season?
That was definitely not the way it was represented in the offseason. Now, if you're talking about over the last week or two,
I meant
it's been
last
trending
week and a
that
half,
way.
2 weeks.
It's been trending that way. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Design Air Heating and Cooling Midday. Doug, I really enjoyed you on Balloon Party yesterday. Happy birthday, Plowsy and Jackson. The use of Rams money in the development of the new airport will be the biggest tipping points in the next 5 years in our city. It will serve as a litmus test for how well our city and county are willing to work together for positive progress. If they put the money toward a riverfront, jet ski marina, or painting the buildings in pastels, I'm afraid the proverbial groundhog will signal more years of civic winter for us. Doug, that's Dogtown Ty, and he won the J. Randolph Jr. Fan Page Club Championship.
Dogtown Ty.
Bag me daddy. I'm looking for a guy, but that doesn't make me gay. I'm a 35-year-old man that likes to take things to the edge. I want to be gagged and bagged and put a bag over my head until I pass out. This is to help me get to my climax forcefully.
Oh.
Am I on the filtered file?
No, this is good stuff.
Come on, Jackson.
I am straight as an arrow and normally would be looking for a woman to do this, but I have found in my travels that women do not have the stomach or the strength for it. I would prefer a 70s heartthrob who wears those sexy Lulu pants and who has recently had an FUE procedure.
Yeah.
If you do not check those boxes, please do not respond. Listen, guys, you don't have to do anything to my body. This is you strictly putting a bag over my head and allowing me to finish. It's nothing weird. Thanks. That's from Jason.
Jason with an odd
This guy emails in like once every 6 months, and they're always bangers.
In honor of Plowsy's birthday today, I thought it would be funny to list all the stuff that Tim did wrong today. And that's the end of the email from Anita, and then the middle name is Rod, and then the last name is in me.
Anita, Rod, and May.
I thought I asked you to pick up Miracle Whip, I told Zane as I finished slurping up the chunky mayo from the wild snake that likes to poke out of his umbros every 4 hours. While it wasn't that tangy zip, it certainly pairs well with the brown snake that is being pumped out of that yearning colon.
Oh, it's
Break
not yearning.
me off a clump of that dump.
Oh!
His legs went akimbo to expose his waist window, Doug. That's from Twink Toilet.
Don't rhyme akimbo with window.
And young.
Twink Toilet.
Trudging through this email, 9 a.m. hijacking. I wish life in general was all as simplistic as the Strode man makes it seem. Just slap a fresh coat of neon pink paint on the buildings and change out some light bulbs. Bada bing, bada boom, downtown's fixed. It's truly beautiful, his naiveness. Kind of sad when you remember he's like 70, but still beautiful. Flowers for Strodanon, like flowers for Algernon, but with a spray tan. Thanks, and maybe stay tuned. Some #1 Asian intern Brian Henson, a fan of spacing and a clean sheet of ice.
Brian Henson with a nice email this morning.
I didn't say that's all it needs, but it would help.
My favorite parts of the show today, a thread. Going to start with when the guy who eats uncooked pie crusts and paddles his fleshly canoe to something called a Farmin' Brit schooled us on the geopolitical shortcomings of St. Louis and laid out his plan to save the city by just painting the buildings pink and a little gray. Add a little gray and the rolling gunfire won't be the only thing that just pops. Can't wait till all the spring breakers from up in Des Moines flock south for spring break to bring Pound City to the Mound City. And how about when that one guy who in exchange for his 2 hours of work per day is told he can have a semi-annual rummage sale that's less of a rummage sale and more just a dementia patient bringing his smelly old man garbage amassed over the course of 11 presidential terms into the company break room where he gets his coffee on Saturday mornings, assuming Jody, the coffee madam, has the machine up and running, criticize the hourly wages of honest, kind-hearted airport workers who are just trying to actively keep people from stepping foot into the city, berate you a little bit, and take their $10 an hour and get home to their families. And who could forget when that dashing, newly 26-year-old paid absolutely no mind to and gave a Troy Glaus at the picnic table level of acknowledgement and enthusiasm to just a knee-slapping Michael Richards joke without missing even a single breath while setting up the fun with audio. Save me a spot in the Fan Page Club Championship. I'm the keynote speaker tonight in a symposium on XFL cities that can't get out of their own way and how they're using Roy G. Biv to revitalize the area? Doug, is that a reference to red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and violet?
No, that was a thing. I forget what that meant.
I thought that's how you knew red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. I have been losing friends and finding peace, but honestly, it sounds like a pop to me, Doug. Blueberry pop.
Blueberry pop.
Pretty strong.
Not one of his best.
Oh, we have different opinions.
Controversial. And finally, I know a lot about declining Rust Belt cities with splintered leadership that can't get about its own way, and it's great. How's St. Louis, Missouri? We're going to bring that back? How about that whole deal? I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. We recently had 2 people shot to death on a Metro bus, while kids are being stabbed and beaten to death after school. Last month, a mother and daughter got killed trying to cross the street, while another woman was run over and dragged within an inch of her life, taking cover from gunfire. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit alone in our hovel and all we say is, please, at least let me have my masturbation station to search for pirated OnlyFans leaks. Let me have my smartphone to play cartoon video games and hate follow people on social media. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm tired of it. Now, who can rescue us? The billionaire family who own a global car rental giant that built a soccer stadium that has spurred development downtown West? Now, let's look to the guy behind the loop trolley boondoggle. He will be the one to bring the transformative network of water slides to this region. Yeah, okay. Speaking of brilliant ideas, aside from being Plowsy's birthday, it's also the 11-year anniversary of the Dan Marshall press conference, which inspired Tim to find a new home for TMA, inspired Stedman to get out of the business, and inspired Iggy to sign up as the executive producer of said station. Happy birthday, Plowsy. Enjoy the Twinkie up your butt. That's from Buck Swope.
Gosh.
And, Doug, that's what we have for the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day.
Nice little email. I'm going to vote for a fella by the name of Jason. Thought Jason had the best.
Is he the one talking about the logs?
I just had a couple check marks by his name. I don't recall if
he's the one who wants to have a bag over his head from a 70s heartthrob with FUE procedure.
Oh, that's right.
None of them are really good.
Oh, come on.
I guess Swopey put some thought into it.
I'm going to go with Jason.
Yes. Okay.
Jason has won the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day. But everybody wins now because Balloon Party is about to start up, and it's a Tough Question Thursday?
That's right.
To 101 ESPN. And switch your YouTube channel over there, and the Balloon Party Mafia. They're very active in that YouTube chat. Time for us to go. For the Plow, for Action Jackson, for Kenneth Iggy Stroud, for my brother Kevin, for Douglas Sullivan, and to my credit, this Ben, the morning after, presented to you by Brown and Crouppen.
Hey, this is Tim McKernan, and I am here